저는 공격을 바꿀 거예요. 아, 진짜예요. 저는 공격을 바꿀 거예요. 아, 진짜예요.
Guys, it's finally time. We are going to be going into the FlaSh random show match here at the Esports Night. Look, I get excited by a lot of the stuff that I've had the privilege to cast, but I think this might be one of the most exciting moments of my entire career.
Well, it's
right
certainly
here.
exciting. Is it going to turn out to be like a legendary coming out of FlaSh playing random, or is he going to flop? I think that's the big question.
Yeah. Or do we have the weird situation where he somehow draws T.E.N every time?
The odds are against that, but
yes.
I mean, that's
could get very unlucky. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm very excited. There's never been anything quite like this in esports.
No, not
Ever.
really. Not really. Just to put this in perspective for you guys, the last random pro gamer in StarCraft 1 switched from random to T.E.N in, I believe it was 2001, CHRH?
Yeah.
I believe it was 2001 that he switched. So, yeah, that's something to keep in mind. No one's been able to do this. But there he is, the man, the greatest gamer of all time across all games, FlaSh.
It's crazy because, first of all, StarCraft 1 is a very, very mapped out game. There's so much that we understand about this game, and there's still more to learn, but you really have to devote your entire life to one race to ever become successful. Granted, in the first year or two, there were some people that would rotate from different races, but that's really a completely different thing. We didn't understand the game then.
Well, you can definitely be like a race picker or something,
Sure.
although I would argue that does weaken you a little bit.
I agree.
And you see here the three challengers all in white. FlaSh, the man in black. He's had his T.E.N fingerprints burned off. He's going to have to erase their memories if they lose. But yeah, it's random just hasn't happened at the pro level. It's not really something that's possible as far as we can tell. And honestly, like, the pro gamer off races are so much weaker generally than their main race.
Right.
I've actually hit so many of the pros off races because a lot of times, like, when they're playing early in the morning, they'll off race a couple games, and that's when I play, and sometimes I'll get them, and it's like they're good, but they're not, they're not that strong.
Each matchup, there's so much nuance to it, and then you have to factor in all these different maps. I mean, let's take PVZ, for instance, to start. Every wall in at every position has different rules that must be followed. The mechanical difficulty of trying to learn how to play TVZ, for instance, it's the APM. You have to be so good at that and so good at maneuvering all these fragile units. Zerg versus Zerg, the ability to control Mutalisks perfectly is an insane skill set in of itself. And so that's why you just don't see players pick random. Now, that being said, I should say they don't succeed with random. But that being said, there are some advantages to going random early on. Your opponent does not know which race you've got. This is especially problematic if you're a Protoss player because you don't know if you need to have your pylon at the entrance to your base or do you need to have a pylon in your main like you would ideally want to do against a Protoss or a Terran? And so,
yeah, like let's say Neo-Sylphid, right?
Yeah.
That's not one of our maps tonight, but it's flat. If you go gate in main and your random opponent has Zerg, how are you supposed to win that as Protoss?
it's there's a lot of different theories on how to play this. As an example, just to go into the Protoss thing, like you could, if it's a like 66% chance that you're going to be against a Terran or a Protoss, make the pylon in the main and hope they're not Zerg. But then if you're against a Zerg, I mean, we really don't see
No, you
gate
can.
and
You
main
can
beat.
take those big risks.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But then you have to count in the percentage chance you're going to beat him in those matchups as well, which I think makes it difficult. But look, being the random player, it's so hard to be good with multiple races. But we have to say it, like, FlaSh is the greatest ever. He's actually peerless in StarCraft Brood War, and I don't think that any other game has anyone like him. And I'm going to stop you guys before you start tweeting at me that Daigo or Faker or something, because it's actually not the same. FlaSh is truly peerless within Brood War. Every single pro agrees that he is head and shoulders above everybody.
It was a huge
Every
upset.
one of them. Everybody.
It was a huge upset that he did not end up winning this last ASL. That was one of the craziest things that's happened in StarCraft.
Yeah. He's won 10 Star Leagues. Okay, he's won 10 Star Leagues. He won everything in Pro League. The amount that, like, dude, I can't even begin to express, because, I mean, I'm a Terran player and I watch all the Terrans and stuff. The amount he's better than the second best Terran in the world is like 1,000%.
He's one of these Terrans that never dies early on.
He never
Which
dies.
is crazy. You know, Terran can be pretty flimsy at the start of the game. Just always pushes out. Seems to make just perfect decisions. I know he's been streaming a decent amount, and I've seen him in a lot of his Protoss games. He has not been having the easiest time, but his Protoss does look really, really good.
He did, let's not forget, like about a year ago, I think it was, he was playing Protoss semi-actively on the ladder, and his Terran had rank 1 on the ladder, and his Protoss had rank 7 on the ladder.
Yeah.
And his win rate with Protoss was the second highest amongst all Protoss on the ladder.
Yeah.
Only Shuttle had a better win rate than him.
So that's crazy.
He's
that's
really good at Protoss.
That's insane. Now, there's also so many situations can happen here. Look, I think it's safe to say that if anybody draws, if FlaSh draws Terran, 100% he wins, right? I mean, he should.
I mean, it's possible.
His opponents are good. They could take a game off of him.
Yeah, they can. It's not like his Terran is unbeatable 100% of the time. StarCraft doesn't operate like that.
Right. So, yeah, I'm most excited to see how his Zerg will perform. Because ZVZ, I think that's going to be very hard for him to win.
Yeah.
I think out of all the matchups that he would struggle in, ZVZ, would you agree that would, if you had to guess, that would probably be his weakest matchup?
That should be his hardest matchup here,
Yeah.
I think. Well, I was talking about this a little bit on my stream earlier today, and about the various things, right? So what's hard for someone that's trying to play random? ZVZ and TVT would be very hard matchups, right?
PvP, there's more bluffing going on. PvP is a funny matchup in that, like, there's a lot of calculations you have to make and play odds a little bit more. It's very unique in that sense.
Which I think is another part of the reason why it's so hard for Protoss players to play against random, because even if they get Protoss, the thing is, if you're a Terran player and a Zerg player is playing random against you and they get Terran, they're dead. They're dead, right? Kind of like I feel like we might see with FlaSh against Zero. If he gets Zerg against Zero, I don't think so, man. I think Zero's going to be able to beat him. But
the thing is, I mean, I can't imagine FlaSh wants the game to go into Mutalist attack, which is pretty much what ZVZ is all about.
Exactly.
Queen's got the greatest Mutamicro ever. So it's like...
And there's no way his Mutamicro can be as good.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
I'm sure it's good.
As much of a superhero as FlaSh is, we have to be very realistic here as we go into this. Now, I would be blown away if he actually got into a Muta dogfight and then won there.
His Wraith control is magnificent, and it's very similar to Muta control, so he might actually surprise us a bit.
Now, I'm also curious how, if going up against Queen here, how will FlaSh handle a game if it's like a PvZ? I mean, Queen is really good.
No, I know.
Now, also with PvP here, Best and Bisu are both very accomplished, in that matchup and good at the decision making. I mean, if they don't open up with some kind of a forward pylon, gambling that maybe they're up against a Zerg.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's so much that can happen
so
here.
much that can happen. We can't even possibly go over every
Yeah, there's just
situation.
so many variables, and we're going to have a lot more to say. And again, remember, it's not just that there's all these matchups you have to know. It's also that every map has different features and different things that you have to take into account when you're playing on it.
And these are all 4-player maps.
Right.
So that's something to take
I
into
hadn't even thought of that. Yeah.
Yeah,
okay,
well,
all 4-player maps.
I was thinking it's kind of funny, right? 4-player maps, random becomes stronger because you don't know where they are. 2-player maps, you can actually do a build where you figure it out real quick with a faster scout. So that kind of helps him a bit. But yeah, what's your prediction for these matches? Like, who do you think he's going to beat, and who do you think he's going to lose to? Just
okay,
overall.
so the first player he's going up against is Best, and I'm actually going off of what the players were saying.
In the Jin Jin video?
Yeah, or just on their streams in general. Basically, Best is not confident. Best is already, and this is actually a fact, is that Random is strongest against Protoss just because of the openings that you have to figure out. You can.
I think everyone agrees on that. Like, Protoss has the hardest time dealing with Random.
Yeah. Like when I get Random, it's like, all right, I'm trying to use as much probability and try to make the best decisions and hope that I don't scout them last in their Zerg because I'm probably going to die. So Best
that's the strongest Random race is last scouted Zerg.
Yeah. So that's especially if they happen to be a Zerg main normally. Then you're like, okay, great. This is So Best was not feeling that confident. Queen and Bisu both said that they can win.
Yeah.
Unless, let's say if they both said, look, if he gets T.E.N twice, then it's going to be hard. But
yeah.
Also, let's not forget, like, Bisu and Queen are like really good, and they do have their own pride here as well.
Of course, they're champions.
Yeah. So we're going to start on the map, the new Empire of the Sun. We'll go to Optimizer and then Circuit Breakers. I was a little bit surprised by the maps they picked for this, but
I believe New Empire of the Sun and Optimizer are both going to be in ASL next season, so the pros are playing them a lot. I know Optimizer is going to be, and then Circuit Breakers is just Circuit Breakers.
Yeah,
people love that.
Circuit Breakers is the vanilla ice cream of StarCraft maps.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah.
So my thought on this, because I watched that video as well, guys. If you want to see the pros kind of sound off, Jin Jin did a wonderful translation. Check him out, Jin Jin 5000 on YouTube. He translates a lot of the pro gamer videos, and they did talk about that, and Bisu was very confident. Zero was pretty darn confident, and then Best was completely not confident. But looking at this, Tasteless, I think FlaSh is going to beat Best, and I think he's going to beat Bisu. I honestly do.
I'm most excited about the Bisu match. I'm glad we saved that for last, because Bisu is so good at PvP and PvZ. And I think, to be honest, Bisu can take a game off of FlaSh PvZ. It is possible.
Yeah.
And I'm also, just from a Protoss player's perspective, I'm really curious to see how Best and Bisu open. We do not have Random in professional matches, guys. Everybody has solutions in ladder. Everybody's encountered a Random. But what is the tournament play versus a Random player? I don't know.
We really don't know. The highest we've seen Random played is by Bishop in qualifiers. He's a really great amateur T.E.N, one of the best amateurs. And he did go Random in a few tournaments. But he's an amateur. He's not the greatest player of all time like FlaSh. So it didn't really... Like, I don't think the meta has evolved yet. I think that FlaSh is actually going to show us how you're supposed to play Random, what types of builds you're supposed to use, and I think that he's going to evolve Random as a race that people pick.
You got to think, FlaSh is essentially like the Bobby Fischer of StarCraft here. Like, he just sees the game at a level that nobody else...
Yes.
And so, what builds is he also going to choose here? He knows his opponents don't know what race he is. He might have techniques. Let's say that he gets T.E.N. There might be a special exploit for how he opens that we're going to discover here. This is so crazy. I'm getting tingles.
I know.
I know. Me too. Our game is ready. It begins now. The esports night. FlaSh versus Best. FlaSh debuting his Random against one of the best Protoss players in the world.
FlaSh gets Protoss. That's an exciting first thing to see.
Okay. So PvP.
Yeah. So
go ahead, please.
Here's the interesting part, right? I was talking with T.E.N a little bit about this. He thinks that you should probably open with forward gate against Random as Protoss here. But that would be weakest against Protoss, right? It's a very reasonable play against Zerg, of course, the one gate expansion builds with Zealots pressuring. And then the forward gate Zealot pressure against T.E.N. You know, both standard stuff. Everyone's seen that a bunch of times. It's good stuff. But against Protoss, suddenly it's like, oh man, they can put a lot of pressure on you. If you don't get a second gate, then you know, they can get rid of your gate, they can kill your gate, and then win the game through that. But also, if you get a second gate, what if they go DT? Your detection will be slower.
Okay, so first thing I was looking for here, Best did not scout after Pylon. That's one of the fixes that a lot of players will do, is they'll sack one probe early on just to get the confirm. Again, he doesn't know, is he against a Zerg, is he against a Protoss, is he against a T.E.N?
He has no idea.
And another thing about PvP here is this is a funny matchup in that, like, Reavers, Shuttles, and Dragoons are actually all really frustrating units to control sometimes.
Sure.
Like, sometimes the Reaver just won't shoot. The Dragoon is actually one of the glitchiest units in the game. It can get stuck all the time. Really good Protoss players can control that really well and navigate that, but it's a very unforgiving matchup where even if you start to get an engagement and it goes a little bit incorrectly, it kind of spirals out of control.
Yeah.
Now, at this moment, by the way, we're going to have Best come in here and scout.
This is a big moment.
Boom.
Yeah.
Confirmation it's a Protoss.
He actually scouts him first, and I mean, Best is a good PvP player, right? So the fact that he made gate in main, and it's a pretty standard build, and he scouted FlaSh first, and it's his mirror matchup, I feel like this just became, or it should have become, Best favored, and this is where we can see just how strong FlaSh is in PvP.
Throwing down the Manor Pylon, he's actually going to have room to do a second Manor Pylon right there.
God.
And that actually, if they get the 2 in a row, well, we can't confirm right now if there's a Zealot making or not, but
I don't think that
is. Well, this means that Best will skip ahead in a pretty big lead here. That is actually one trapped probe. He managed to glitch out the other trapped probe, but especially when they get a Manor Pylon in the middle of your minerals, then it can really force your workers to go all the way around. So one Zealot comes out, and now this is a light pressure opening that Best is doing here. Best has one Zealot coming across the map because this Zealot from FlaSh, he's going to try to kill this Pylon as fast as possible. What Best wants to do is draw the attention away and force that Zealot to chase the other Zealot. Second gateway coming down here.
Yeah, I like it from Best. You know, this looks good for him right now.
Yeah.
Let's see. I mean, FlaSh is staying calm. This is something that FlaSh does better than anyone, I would say, is staying calm in these situations.
Some of the hardest micro to survive in StarCraft is actually the Zealot and probe attacking your probes. Two Zealot hits and 2 probe hits kills a probe.
Yeah.
Probes die incredibly fast. They're very brittle units. And notice this, he cannot really target the Pylon as long as the Zealot is in here. So Best has basically played an S-class opening here. Everything is going according to plan. Gets that 1 probe.
Yeah, he does.
Good blocking there. It looks like he will only end up losing 1 probe in that process.
Yeah, not so bad, right? I mean, it's a pretty solid hold right there. But it is 2 gates for Best. It looks like he's really focusing on getting out some units right now. Now, what do you think? Do you think he's just going to try to, like, for instance, flood Dragoons and utilize what should be superior micro with the Dragoon?
He could. He definitely could. Did FlaSh ever scout? I don't think he actually did. The way that these units are moving out, it looks like he's going to... I'm always impressed when there's pros that can do this, like in a situation where it's like, you don't even know where they are on the map right now. You're going to check with... Because, by the way, you lose 1 or 2 Dragoons early on, and you can lose in a Dragoon dogfight later on.
FlaSh actually favors late scouting, like, basically always in all matchups. Like, he scouts later than anyone.
Yeah, it's actually one of these weird phenomenons where it's unbelievable how late he'll scout, and sometimes I don't truly understand it. He seems to just have all of his builds optimized to where he can kind of pretty much hold off everything. He really values the extra probe mining the minerals.
Yeah.
So, you know, just the way this map is shaped, you end up with this large high ground area. There's a couple different ramps that can come up here, but it's hard to push this with Dragoons. Dragoons fighting Dragoons that are above them on a high ground area is like one of the dumbest fights you'll ever see.
Yeah.
Because Dragoons don't fire fast, and the chance of missing.
Well,
now, he's got to be careful here. 1 Dragoon, by the way, bugging.
I like that the high ground in the middle here.
Yeah.
Really helping him out there. Can just fall back to it. Okay, so FlaSh has gone for Robo into the second gate, whereas obviously Best has had second gate for a while now and goes into his Robo.
So PvP is a matchup where you can win the game without expanding. You can absolutely push them and just kill them.
Yeah.
And that might be what Best is going to try to do here.
Now, FlaSh is on that high ground. He has 1 less goon than what we see coming here.
Okay, I'm a little bit surprised.
Gets that first volley. That's a pretty big deal, I would say, right?
Okay, actually better control here by Best, though.
Definitely looks that way. All right, a couple goons picked off. He's going to lose another one. There it goes. So Best up a little bit extra there. He does have another goon coming down. Takes his high ground for a moment. Just skips that Zealot altogether, trying to target down these goons.
You can see the Dragoons missing some of those shots as they try to fire up onto the high ground. Now with the Zealot alive here, you get a little bit of a tempo edge here. Okay.
That's really going well for him right now. You can see FlaSh just getting out micro.
Okay, 2 more Dragoons are going to come up here. Actually, this could snowball here.
Yeah, it looks like it, doesn't it? He's going Observer, too, so no help there from the Robo. He's got to pull probes, I think.
Yeah, this is actually, this is almost fatal here. I don't know if there's a Reaver being made right now. I actually don't see if the tech is up. It should be. I think that Best may end up taking him out here. There's going to be a few more Dragoons reinforcing here. If Best controls this right and doesn't let those Dragoons get trapped. One is trapped. One is trapped.
Good trap right there. So his second goon pops out as well. He should be able to take out these goons now. He does have the Observer going across. He's going to scout a Nexus for Best.
Wow.
So I think there's no way to look at this other than Best is certainly ahead, but how far ahead, right? He's going to be playing against a Reaver here. Is FlaSh just going to push?
Oh, this is big if he can actually get the Observer as well. This has been an action-packed PvP here, by the way.
Yeah.
He's going to get the Observer kill. Oh my god, he's not. We see this in StarCraft too, where we talk about, you know, what Robo units were killed off, and it's annoying because you have to make them again, but keeping that Observer alive is very helpful. Keep in mind this game can oftentimes be decided by one Scarab connecting with a lot of probes because it wasn't seen in time.
Yeah. So true.
Okay,
Observer
so
popping over. He sees no Nexus. I think that's really important to think about.
It's so the situation in this matchup right now is one where Best is waiting for his opponent to either expand or push and try to end the game.
Yeah.
And we see a probe here, and it looks like with the minerals saved up, he will be making a Nexus.
It's so much later, though, right? The Nexus of Best is just about to finish.
Okay, you know what? He might actually... No, he's not going to make the Nexus. Sometimes you put the probe there to make it look like you're getting ready to expand.
Absolutely.
And then...
see that all the time,
yeah.
Tasteless.
Yeah. But he's going to go for a push here. Now, was there Reaver tech for Best? I actually was...
He did make Reaver tech. He doesn't have a Reaver yet.
So there should be a Reaver
should be very
slow
soon,
crawling out here.
Yeah, yeah.
And this is going to come down to control here.
Yeah,
there's the Reaver, but there's no shuttle to pick it up, so it's a little bit... You can juggle a Reaver and make magic happen in PvP.
Well, it's a good spread of goons, man, and Best has a lot of goons here. He has more.
This is a narrow bottleneck to push. Oh!
Whoa!
He's gonna...
Okay,
the shuttle's still alive!
This looks good for Best, man.
Yep.
Good targeting from Best. FlaSh. Oh, he's losing unit after unit.
Another victory here. I think Best is, as far as I can tell, he's close to ending this. He's got the expansion up. He's mining. The Nexus started over here for FlaSh. And just very good control. I love the splitting of the Dragoon shots in the end. I would not be surprised if we actually see a counter push here, especially when you kill the shuttle and the Reaver.
Well, I mean, how can you, like, how can FlaSh ever stop that at this point, right? He lost the first scuffle, and then he just lost the second scuffle, and his Nexus is so much later. Look at this. FlaSh is dominated in supply right now.
Yeah. Again, that Dragoon push there early on really helped out a lot.
Oh, so much.
You know, when you get their Dragoon count low enough, they can't really counterattack you with anything.
He had the earlier second gate, and he netted, like, 2 or 3 units on that attack.
Yeah.
Right? So that's huge.
Okay, the shuttle's coming across the map now. Now, FlaSh has his own Reaver out here. You got to be careful when you do these Reaver pushes, too. There's a lot of games, even at the very best levels, where you had an edge and you just didn't quite control the fight that well. By the way, FlaSh also got a shuttle before the second Reaver, so he'll have the option to juggle here as well. There are just more Dragoons for Best, but on this map, the entrance is a little bit tight. The defender does get a bigger arc. We have a pylon put down here to draw some of the shots away.
Oof. Yeah, I mean, look at that. The double Reaver shot immediately erasing a goon. Another goon goes down. FlaSh trying to micro here with his Reaver, but he's so outmassed.
Yeah, and now
really good shot right there, though.
The Reaver goes down. That should be GG. Yeah. That's it. Game 1 in a PvP where FlaSh opened with random. It was a bit of a back and forth there, but ultimately, Best came out on top. You can see he's relieved.
Yeah.
And let me tell you something, guys. This is where we're going to find out. Can you really be can you compete with the best players in the world as random?
Now, we gotta point a few things out because there's not many things that are truly random in StarCraft. Let me name a few of them: the race random, the spawning position.
Yeah.
Obviously
Occasionally
high ground
shots can
miss,
be- yeah.
high ground miss chance, and then T.E.N SCVs dancing on buildings. Right. So those are
Right.
the things that are truly random within the game. Now, this was the absolute best case scenario for Best. It could not have been better because he went for a build that would have been weaker against Zerg, right? He scouted late. He scouted FlaSh first, and FlaSh was Protoss. Okay?
Yeah.
Anything else happens there, then it's not nearly as good for Best. Not nearly as good.
Game 2 is ready. We're going to Optimizer. Again, FlaSh debuting his random. Big moment here in gaming and esports.
Yeah.
I think you made some excellent points, by the way. Okay, so what is he? FlaSh
He's Protoss again.
Okay, it's PvP again.
He just shook his head in the booth, by the way. He's sitting like feet from us.
Yeah, we're like right next
He's
to him.
like he's doing that.
He's actually smirking to himself, like,
yeah.
all right.
The head shake that you know so well, living out here for so long.
Yeah,
where
it's
it's like,
like kind
oh man.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, these are the best case scenarios, right? Because if you're going gate and main, and he's Zerg, you're already in trouble, right?
Right.
If you're going against FlaSh's T.E.N, you're in trouble. Okay, so the two Protoss, well, this is the thing. FlaSh has chosen to go random, so there's some luck involved here, and this was good for Best both times.
So, when we saw that fight back there, one of the things that we gotta remember, it was a Dragoon duel. The Dragoons fighting in the middle of the map, and really good Protoss players. Sometimes they're so good with Dragoons. I don't think we talk about this enough, but it's almost like Muta Micro. Like, it's crazy some of the stuff you can do with Dragoons when you're really good.
Yeah.
You know, where like you can eke out so much more damage, and there's a whole art to PvP Dragoon fights, and they both did a very good job, but Best was slightly better. Okay, now hold on. Here's where it gets funny. He did a forward gate build.
Yeah.
Which is doable against T.E.N and Zerg.
Yeah, a little
but
bit
not
weaker
ideal.
against Protoss.
Not
yeah.
ideal. So now Best is starting off, in theory, at somewhat of a disadvantage.
Yeah, a little bit, I would say. But let's not forget, Optimizer, it's a big map, and they're cross spawns.
Right.
So this would be the least impactful for it because the travel distance for FlaSh's Dragoons to pressure that is going to be much greater than if they were close spawns.
But the larger issue at hand here is that the entrance to your base is oftentimes where games are decided. Right?
Absolutely.
Dragoon Reaver pushes, and you don't want this. Like, the gateway is just junk in the way there.
Yeah.
That doesn't help you in fights. You want something like one pylon there to kind of draw a few shots. So, again, FlaSh not scouting here. Best going to the upper left. Now, just to jump in the driver's seat for a second here, thinking of Best, if I found them in this position because of the awkward spot in my gateway, I would be tempted to do a 3-gate all-in from here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Where it's
I
like,
think that's a great
don't
call.
make this about defending.
I think it's a great call, Tasteless. Like, I think that's a really reasonable strategy to go with in this type of situation, right? It kind of negates your poor positioning. And, I mean, yeah, there's some risk involved. Like, if they go DT, you're going to be in trouble, right? But it's a strong build. It can pick up a win.
Let's also keep in mind, since FlaSh didn't scout, FlaSh is unaware of the presence of the gateway at the entrance. He's unaware that basically Best rolled the dice and did not get the favorable opening here.
Yeah, that's something to mention, especially considering game 1 he made it in his main base. But at the same time, I bet you that FlaSh theorized that Protoss should be going forward gate against his random.
Okay, here we go. Again, you got to be very careful. This is really tricky micro to pull off. So far, FlaSh has not lost a probe, which is really incredible.
Well, his SCV micro is amazing in these types of situations as well. The probe micro is somewhat similar.
Look at this.
Yeah, he's doing great. Look at those
Not
awesome
going to lose a
drills.
worker. Okay, that was very impressive. We're going to have the Zealot do one more dive in here. He's trying to find the injured. Oh, misclick there, hit the Nexus. Okay, he
really well handled
did
by
not
FlaSh.
take a scratch. Now, the probe has come down here and is going to try to hide. Keep in mind, scouting in a PvP, if you can see what they're doing, this is one of the matchups where if you have map hacks, you will beat people so much better than you.
Oh, yeah.
So
totally.
he's hiding a probe in the hopes to scout. Great game sense here by FlaSh.
He's not
isolating
buying
that probe. Yeah. And what FlaSh is playing as, or what he's doing right now, is the build basically any Protoss player that's worth his salt is able to do.
Yeah.
It's the Robo first. He's going to throw down a second gate. And he'll probably be expanding from this. There is the option to try to do a Reaver push. This has become pretty trendy in the last couple of years, is the blind Reaver push.
Oh, the one without Observer?
Yeah, you just don't get obs. And
tell me about that recently.
Yeah, it's weird because, like, you know, we had this weird period, Artosis and I, where StarCraft 2 came out, and so we were all focused on that, and we kind of came back, and in all the matchups, some things had changed. And,
yeah.
One of them was the blind Reaver push, where you just skip obs and you just get to the front of their base, and it's very hard for them to hold off. You do just lose if they go DT, but
yeah.
You know.
Oh, FlaSh actually taking a ton of damage on this goon.
This is one of the things about FlaSh not scouting early, is that the hull damage that the Dragoon is taking, that will matter later on.
But he has that extra probe mining.
He does. He can maybe get
his
another
supply.
Dragoon.
He's up 3 supply, Taste.
Wow. So, like, I don't know. I'm a little bit worried here for FlaSh. Again, Best is looking for a fight. I mean, we might end up in the same situation where, because that one Dragoon took those hits there and did not... Oh, my God.
This is crazy.
Wait a
FlaSh
minute.
is in such a weird position right now. This can't...
I don't even know
if
what
Best just goes to his base... Look, they're...
Yeah, they...
This is wild. Well, I mean, that gate out front, I guess that could be like a free kill for FlaSh, whereas if FlaSh pulls back with his units really quickly here... Look, he sees it, so he's going to have to pull probes. He's only got 2 goons. He should have 2 more goons, like, coming. Yeah, here comes the probes to fight.
Now, keep in mind, there's a Zealot in this mix here, so you can go probes very quickly now. He's going to go into... What's actually in the main here for Best? We don't have a shot of it.
He's got a gate. Maybe he has a robo, I'm not sure.
This is actually one of the most unusual situations to get into in a PvP where you're both past each other somehow.
That's so... Well, it's a really big map. It's very strange that this happened. You can see that FlaSh is microing very heavily on the other side, I think.
We would get a shot of what's happening over here.
Oh, man, I think that Best is just going to do it, man. He has a lot of units right now, but FlaSh, I mean, he's microing hard.
Yeah, well, he doesn't quite have that much. If the probes can get a surround on the Dragoon. Now, for the workers here, the workers are going to start plummeting.
Yeah, on both sides, I think, right?
Yeah.
But actually, Best is almost cleaned up. So FlaSh might actually be all right.
Well,
yeah, look. 8 kills on that one Dragoon.
Oh my God, he actually held it.
Yeah, he cleaned it.
I feel like we didn't swap between the screens fast enough here.
Yeah.
And it looks like actually in this, where both players had to micro intensely on both sides. Right now, I look at this and there's no way for Best to recover mathematically.
No, 5 probes against 8 or 9. That's
huge.
It sounds like it's only 4 more, but it's like almost twice as much.
Yeah, yeah.
Another lens to look at that through.
So, gosh, I wish we could have switched between the screenshots there to see what happened, because it looked like Best had everything under control, and then we came back and there was one Dragoon and it died. Yeah. So, this is one of the funny moments in StarCraft where both players have been rocked and the fight goes on.
But like you said, Best took so much damage. This seems like it is impossible to come back through.
Well, here's the thing, though. A few Reaver shots, 1 or 2 Reaver shots, and the game can be turned upside down. I can't believe he has an idle probe there.
Yeah.
That is like
it's not like you're doing much right now.
This is adrenaline right now, yeah.
Ouch.
When you consider that he has 1 probe that's not even mining. There's not even a probe for every mineral patch.
Yeah, that was 20% of his income after the battle, by the way.
Yeah.
He just was like, you know what, 20% of my income? Screw it, don't need it.
The Observer's going to see only 2 Dragoons, and I think FlaSh might try to come in here with a killing blow.
He's going to walk across the map and kill him now.
But again, seeing FlaSh get in these Dragoon dog fights where he doesn't come out on top is a little bit worrisome. And
well, those would be the exact scenarios, right, that a pro should be able to micro their units that they've used for however long they played, at least 15 years, 20 years sometimes. It's like they're going to be better at that.
All right, 1-1. FlaSh definitely happy with that.
Yeah.
I got to say, that is an incredibly unusual situation that does happen in PvP where you both passed each other.
Yeah, that's weird.
And like, you know, probes die really fast. To Dragoons
Dude, they are
and Zealots,
so brittle.
They are so brittle. It's funny because like there's certain fights where probes can be kind of strong, but like, Zealots and Dragoons just wreck probes.
Yeah, probes are actually the weakest out of the workers, right?
Yeah, they are the weakest.
I mean, they have a lot of potential micro-wise in certain situations, but yeah, because of 20 shields, that's like, they take full damage from everything in the game at the first 20 health, and then regular damage like the other workers at the other 20. So it's, yeah, they die so quickly. Like a Zealot on probes is hilarious.
Yeah, and so, I guess we're probably not going to have time to go to a replay. I'm just so curious to see what they would have tried to do. It's tied up 1-1. We had 2 PvPs in a row. FlaSh playing random. We're going to go to Circuit Breakers.
Yeah, and I hope he doesn't get Protoss again, man. That's just kind of...
I welcome anything, honestly. Like, it's... By the way, you know, it's a frustrating moment for Best. He had a really strong showing. And in Game 2, they both passed each other. It's like they both made a mistake there.
It's funny, though, because Best got to his base first and had an additional unit.
Yeah.
So... Yeah, there was something about the way they were microing that I think FlaSh switched his attention around better, which would make sense.
Yeah. Game 3's ready, guys. FlaSh as random. Let's see what he draws.
Wow. So FlaSh gets Zerg this time. And it's cross spawns, so most likely Best will scout him second, right?
Yeah.
You don't ever end scout with Protoss.
I never cross spawn scout with Protoss against random. I don't, because then you have the chance if you find them last, you like really have no idea what the hell's going on in the game.
Yeah.
Well, I'm very excited to see this.
Forward gate or gate in main? You should just Nexus first.
Yeah, that's one of the things, right? Is that it looks like Best is gonna pylon in main.
Yeah. Hear that, it's gonna be really late.
Okay, yeah. Pylon actually was a little bit late there.
Okay, scout after the pylon.
So I want to point out that, first of all, you can beat a good Zerg with gate in main. It's a very hard, it's a really hard technique. It's something I try to work on in my play because this is just something you're going to encounter on the ladder. It can be done. The problem is he going to go gate or gate gas? Gate gas on Circuit Breakers PvZ, I think has the most room for you to just lose the game. Now, another thing to note, because it looks like FlaSh is going to go hatchery first, you can cannon rush this. If it's hatch on 12 and you make a gate to main, you can do the cannon rush build. This is a map where it works.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, you go gate forge and then you make a pylon and cannon rush it.
Wow. Okay.
And it's a thing that you can do. It's specifically like against a random player where they just might not check right out in front of their hatchery.
Sure.
And you just make a cannon
I
kill.
know which one you're talking about. Actually, on Circuit Breakers, you can do a pylon wall behind the gases if you want to do it.
You
that
can
way.
do that too.
Yeah.
There's a couple.
It's
ways
one
to
of the
do it.
only modern-ish maps where you actually have a spot you can do it on. All right, Best scouts Zerg now. So this is his first telling of what's going on.
There is the option as well to try to have this build transpose into the Nexus at your expansion and a forge and a cannon there. It's just like if you put the forward gate, you just don't have a good wall in, so you can die to a counter all in.
Yeah, right. Like speedlings are going to be very tough to hold if he just pulls the trigger on it. Now I saw some FlaSh playing some ZVP like again a year ago. He was really dabbling in off races. That was the first time he was talking about. Yeah. Maybe it was 1 year, maybe it was 2 years ago. He was talking about maybe going random in the future. So I saw him dabble back then, and his ZVP looked all right. I've heard recently that his ZVP is quite strong, but I don't know. I don't have anything to back that up because I haven't seen very much of it. Just a little bit here and there.
So Best is going to go for the Nexus now.
Okay.
And so yeah, this is like a wonky version of the forward gate build, basically.
Yeah.
It's like,
is this like? Are you daring them to just go mass speedling?
You can die to that for sure.
Yeah, well, is it like something where you're baiting them, or you're kind of playing a fine line where you hope they don't? You know what I mean? Like, if Best just does this and then randomly at one point just makes a bunch of buildings to finish his wall off, then suddenly maybe the speedling is a terrible idea, right? Like, that would be like a bait or something.
I mean, you could, for instance, like, you're going to get a second gate eventually. You can make another gateway at the entrance and kind of... You end up with the building placement where if someone had just walked in, they would never know that you started out with this opening inside your main. So we have gas being taken here. Now, Best really smartly hid the Zealot. And now these lings that have come across the map can't be used to try to defend. Let's see how many drones. It's similar to the problem that Protoss players face in PvP, is that, like, a probe and a Zealot can just wreck workers. Good control, good control. Losing a drone, by the way, early on in a PvZ is like huge, because you don't have that many workers to start out. It's not like Protoss or T.E.N where you're making workers the whole time. And actually, Best is going to send more Zealots across the map. So this is a technique where you wedge the Zealot behind the minerals because the Zerglings don't get good surface area. And now there's going to be more Zealots coming up here, and it looks like he's actually...
He's kind of being a sneaky snake about how they're walking.
Yeah, he's setting them up in this weird angle, probably because I think FlaSh is going to try to ling all in here.
Yeah, it does look that way. He has so many lings right now. But the Zealots are waiting. So could this turn into some crazy base trade once again?
Well, it will be up to the Protoss to try to hold this. He needs to get like a real wall up here, and he needs to get all of his workers over here. And by the way, I love the Zealot counterattack, but this is it. This is absolutely a moment that Best could die.
Yeah.
He needs more than that.
Certainly does. It looks like, okay, he's got to target something here, like whether it's the probe right there, good hold position on it. Oh, FlaSh, I feel like he's...
Oh, the Zealot though at the top. The counterattack. Oh, the lings get in.
Yeah,
he needs to protect the cannon.
Oh, the probe's actually doing a pretty reasonable job here, I would say. That was pretty good. And now the Zealots at FlaSh's natural, giving him a hard time.
I think Protoss is pretty masterfully held this.
Yeah. Oh, man.
One Zergling is when you're no longer worried. I don't know how many drones were killed back there. I'm very curious to find out. But this is a situation I think the Protoss is going to be feeling really confident in.
Absolutely. He didn't really lose probes. And the amount of lings that have been made, FlaSh's economy is not that good.
Yeah, but he did not lose that many drones.
That is true. The Zealot counter didn't do as much as I thought it might. But it did kind of screw up how well he microed those lings. I felt like the lings had more potential than what they got.
Is he going to do a second ling dive here?
I think, yeah. Yeah, why not? Like, this looks like such a bad situation for him, right? He is droning a little bit.
Okay, so what he's going to do, I think, is he's going to wait, because he's seen that Best has sent out a lot of Zealots. If the Zealots come out again, he's going to then counterattack in here. Okay, so this is where the entrance is airtight. You just can't get through there. And so in a funny situation, we were talking about this earlier, but the chances of... oh, it's going to be Muta's next, by the way. The chances of a ling all-in happen in this situation, it makes sense why he did it, but Best barely held it. And usually, especially if they do these ling all-ins, and you stop it, and then you seal off your entrance, the lings are really useless. It's not like Hydras where you can then try to go and shoot down the gateway and the forge. It doesn't...
Like, the ling is a great unit and is, like, useful overall all game, but in a situation like this, it does nothing.
Yeah, it does nothing.
Like, you can spread them around, but I promise you, Protoss is not hiding anything. There is... the odds of Best having something out on the map right now, it's like 0. Okay, we've seen the amount of Zealots he's made. We've seen his build order. He doesn't have anything out there.
Now, Zerg's behind, but this game's not over. We have the first Corsair coming through here. And this is where you comb the Zerg's base and just try to figure out, okay, is he making drones, or do I see any tech? He sees the den over there. And he's going to see the Spire has finished.
Yeah, he's got to be careful. Doesn't want to get this one zapped.
There was an Overlord killed somewhere in here.
Yeah.
I don't know when that happened.
I think it was an Overlord that was near Best's base got caught, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Well, FlaSh, I mean, he's droned up to a pretty good amount.
Yeah.
But it feels like Best has basically done everything without a hitch, even though the opening build was a little bit odd.
Yeah, Best is in a good position. I mean, if you're the Protoss player, Zerg can do a lot to get you behind, but if you survive those circumstances, you're usually ahead, because while they were making Lings, they had to stop making drones. You could be making probes the whole time. It's this really weird feature where, you know, T.E.N and Protoss, they make their workers in the same fashion. Zerg don't. So Zerg, it's like you're shifting gears constantly. Economy, attack, economy, attack. And so with a superior economy behind this, Best is going to be able to leverage this position and try to push out. And FlaSh will have to rely on a pretty turtled play. Oh, wow, he's making mutas. I was curious to see if there was maybe going to be just Scourge.
I'm honestly not too surprised to see the mutas right now. I feel like this gives him a bit more wiggle room. If he went directly into Hydra with how poorly the Ling attacks went early on, that feels like a much easier math problem to solve than mutas.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree.
Mutas at least complicate the game for Best a little bit.
Okay, so there's one DT out. Now, I have to imagine, FlaSh is going to have an Overlord here. By the way, FlaSh has done a really incredible job of basically muting any benefits that Best was supposed to have here.
Yeah, and he's still muting these Zealots as well.
Now, FlaSh does not seem to have caught on to that this DT is... Yeah, 4 kills is pretty good.
Yeah.
That's enough, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Best still looking pretty strong, but I think that FlaSh will probably switch out of mutas, right? He's not going to go those forever.
Yeah, I think so. Right now, Best has the right game plan, though. He's gone back. He's massing up Corsairs. But I think this was a good way to just try to control the ground here, is just get the mutas out. He's got everything turtled up well. He's going to, I believe FlaSh is going to transition this into mass Hydras. What you do is, there's this, this was really popular about a year or two ago. It's not as popular now, but a lot of people still do it, is you would go mass Hydras, and then you get 11 mutas out, and you wait for them to push, and you snipe all the Templars with the mutas.
Oh, yeah.
And then your Hydras overrun them, because Protoss can't fight without Psystorm. And in this case, what FlaSh did was got the mutas first. He's going to fill it in with the Hydras later on. So the element of surprise in this build is gone for FlaSh. It's obvious to the Protoss, okay, mutas are on the map. I'll have to protect my Templars. If Lings can snipe the Templars as well, that's another big one.
That would be huge.
That's even better, if you can just throw away a few Lings to kill a High Templar.
Well, without the Templar, I mean, you are actually going to be in some serious trouble. Is he looking for just Mass Hydra, or should he be also adding in Lurker at this point, or does he wait a bit longer on Lurker?
Okay.
Jesus.
Oh, my God. All right.
Well, I guess
it was a wasted storm. Okay, hold on. Here come the mutas now. Oh, miscontrol there by FlaSh.
That's Storm.
Okay,
but
2
you know
Templars
what?
down.
There's like 10 Corsairs out, so I feel like that was not as bad as it looked.
No, I think... Okay, so now the pressure's on here. Now, again, these spots, they're hard to break here with Zealots, but there might be enough. I don't see any Lurker eggs coming down here.
Yeah.
I'm actually a little bit surprised he's not going for it. I feel like...
Well, there's actually a flank coming out. So you always do have to be careful when you're going into a really turtle position, because if Zerg flanks you with all their army, that's going to be...
Yeah. So
bad things can occur.
Best has come out looking for the push. He surveyed the area and has decided he can't really do any damage. He'll be taking a third. Now, FlaSh, by the way, has a little bit of extra minerals here. Yeah. Which is a little bit...
This is not the macro I'm used to seeing from the player named FlaSh.
Yeah. Usually FlaSh is,
You know what? Hold on. I think he's actually banking on purpose. I know this sounds insane. I think he might switch back into mutas.
Oh, that could be.
Like, okay, he just spent it all.
All right, yeah, actually that was not a macro error then.
Yeah.
What he's going to try to do is, again, I think do a surprise muta attack.
I'm not 100% sure, because he still has all the Corsairs, so maybe it is just Hydras all at once.
Or lots of Scourge. I don't know. I don't know what's going on here. Now, this is where Best is going to start massacring these Overlords. Okay, lots of Hydras coming up here. Best, his supply right now is like, this is where you push, basically.
Yeah, 162 against a red 101. That is not looking good at all for FlaSh. Yeah. I mean, Hydras are only at 1 supply, so it's like deceptively strong considering. But with these Psystorms with this army, it looks to me like Best has got this, you know? I'm not feeling hyped about the FlaSh's position.
Yeah, I'm a little bit worried for him here. Best has played a very conservative game from start to finish, just defending. He's just not overextending. Now, FlaSh doesn't have that much, is the problem. If you want to... Yeah, if you want to, sorry, I got distracted there from production. If you want to try to push on this map, oh my God, this is so many kills. It's easy to defend. The defender's always pretty comfortable on this map. It's a real macro map. I mean, it's hard to imagine Hydra's just forcing their way in here and running over the Protoss. We may go to a super long game. We just saw tons of lurker eggs come out here. So this is a Zerg transitioning out of any kind of battle Zerg style and into a long, drawn-out game.
Well, I feel like every PvZ I ever see here ends up with lurker Hydra on this high ground.
Yeah.
That's like, we see that so often.
I'm a little bit surprised here. I see it. Okay, FlaSh is actually going to try to push up here. Now, Zealots are pretty useless against Hydras. You basically have to have Dragoons, and it almost looks like Best maybe overmade Zealots here. I feel like I'm only seeing 6 Dragoons.
Yeah, not too many Dragoons. He does have some Psy Storms in there.
Now, if the Zerg, if they can keep sniping the Observer like that, that's one of the easiest ways to just take down a Protoss player there.
Those lurkers are getting a huge amount of value right
And
now.
the lurkers, I didn't think he was going to push. I really thought he was going to turtle here. Now, keep in mind, see, from Best's position here, he can't see those. There's one Observer coming over here. FlaSh will most certainly try to target that down.
He has a cannon here as well. Nice Psy Storm there from Best, shredding so many Hydras. Oh my God, just really massacring this army.
Okay, he's killed all the lurkers. I think that FlaSh had a cool idea. I don't know that he's going to be able to pull this off. I mean, FlaSh is taking no other bases. He's basically, you know, trying to fit the square shape through the circle hole here. He's trying to just force his way through, and I think the Protoss is probably pretty happy with this exchange here.
Yeah.
And I think after this attack, there's just not going to be any real options here for FlaSh.
No,
GG.
You're certainly right about that, and he does GG. So FlaSh ends up falling there. The Ling Flood strategy absolutely not working for him.
Yeah.
Not the greatest showing on his first match out, and this, I think everyone does think, should have been the easier match today, even though it's never easy to play Best.
We started with Best for a reason. I mean, as good as Best is, it was like there's a real shot. And keep in mind, he did not draw T.E.N. FlaSh did not get T.E.N. This was FlaSh in the other matchups.
Yeah. And don't forget as well, game 1 literally could not have gone better for Best. In face gateway, scouts FlaSh first. Like, it was as bad as it gets for FlaSh Random. So I don't think that this series accurately shows what we're going to be seeing.
Well, you know, we were talking about this before. Is FlaSh going to win every game? Is he going to go undefeated?
Yeah.
Right now, it's not looking good. We're going to go to the second show match. After this break, that'll be FlaSh versus Queen. Do not go away.
저는 공격을 바꿀 거예요. 진짜예요. 저는 공격을 바꿀 거예요. 진짜예요.
Upgrade
evolution complete.
나 8월 4일날 맞다. 이거예요. 저 이렇게 합니다, 여러분들. 랜덤으로. 저 랜덤 데뷔전 8월 4일날 이거 데뷔전 봤거든요. 그 8월 4일날 랜덤 대회 데뷔전. 이거 데뷔전인데 이거 상대 이거예요. 태경이 형, 명훈이 형, 보였죠. 이건 스포티비에서 하고요. 아프리카에서 중계 할수 있을까요? 이렇게 데뷔전 갔습니다. 오픈은 이거는 아마 못 있을 것 같고 근데 대회장에서의 경기는 저희는 이거 몇 신지는 아직 안 나왔습니다. 테는 안 걸리면 정찰 정전이라고. 근데 이제 또 이름값이 너무 없으면 안 돼서 이거 좀 대회라서 이름값 있는 사람들 위주로 좀 있어요. 섭외. 이거는 또 이제 그 완전 대회라서.
그냥 짧았네.
와 아니 근데 영호 형 잘하는데? 와 셔틀 쓰는 거 뭐야? 아니 이거
와!
우와 뭐야?
오, 다크다군 좀 빠르다 생각보다.
미쳤다 이 형 뭐야? 잠깐만 이러면은 또 몰라요 진짜로? 영호야 이겨줘 제발.
아 근데 저거 질템 무조건 가야 돼. 왜냐면 지금은 무조건 가서 소모해야 돼. 그래야 후속으로 드라템 할 때 끝나.
영호야 할 수 있어. 와 설마 템 안 타 있으면 인정. 이렇게 했는데 템 안 타 있으면 인정.
영호.
오 정면 왔어. 오 진짜 위기? 와 잠깐만. 잠깐만. 영호야.
밀었는데?
영호야 할 수 있어.
끝났어. 봐봐 끝나잖아.
이거 이겼는데 영호가?
컷에 얼마나 있어? 오버 다 쏠 수 있잖아. 컷에 얼마나 있는데?
끝났다.
김명훈. 명훈이 형 뭐야?
두 마리? 아, 두 마리 좀 적은데? 와, 진짜!
명훈이 형 그냥 압도당하는데? 그냥 학살 이거 학살인데?
질러 세 부대야.
아, 네, 방심하면 안 돼?
질럿 봐봐요. 질럿이 이렇게 이기는 거는 그냥 프로토스의 로망이야. 질럿으로 올 질럿으로 그냥 두드려 패는 거 토스의 로망이야.
잠깐만요. 근데 아직 모르긴 한다. 10개면 그래도 유리하다 그래도.
아직 근데 저도 히드라 많아가지고.
끝났어. 이제 못 이겨 저거.
토스가 유리하지 아직.
저거 절대 못 이겨.
아니야, 챔버 깨도 01업 어차피 돼있고, 02업은 뭐, 지금 당장엔 안 중요해.
영어 손속도가 제 2배라고요? 그러네요.
럴커 드랍이 제일 중요해요.
근데 이게 드랍이면은 좀 몰라. 이거 저거 드랍 같은데 러커 드랍?
포토 없어. 안 돼, 어머야. 안 돼. 커세 하나 있잖아, 커세 하나 돌아오고. 본진에도 없네? 안 돼!
와
와!
이러면서 3땡이
으악!
앞으로 다 잡혔는데?
졌다.
설마 이거 지나?
얘는 좀 잘 죽지 영호야.
와.
프로브가 없는데.
오 놀래라. 와 지는 줄 알았잖아. 아이씨.
너무 아깝다.
얘는
진짜.
와 개시겁했다.
9시에서 딱 질럿이 그런 구도로
지겠는데?
싸면 안 돼, 이들아랑은.
근데 이거 아직 몰라. 한 방 있어 토스. 아직 몰라. 한 방 있어.
이거 졌는데? 왜 진지 알아? 히드라는 지금 9마리씩 나오잖아. 근데 토스는 병력이 안 나온단 말이야.
밀겠는데? 유닛이 굉장히 많은데? 밀었는데?
양쪽에서 3-3 먹기.
이거 밀었는데?
히드라가 졸라 많아.
너무 잠깐만. 여기 쪽이 날리면
뭐야? 밀린다고?
제발 제발. 잠깐만. 후속이 뭐 왜 이렇게 많이 나? 이영호 돈 남았었어?
오, 저 드론 뭐야? 버그 났다 저거. 건물질에다가 일어나서.
영호야.
와 앞마당 밀리는데 안 나가는 것 봐. 절대 지기 싫다는 거죠.
아니 ASL 우승자를 이긴다고?
마페요. 키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키키 역시 호영무.
What's up, everybody? We're back here at the Esports Night. FlaSh debuting his random for the very first time ever in a professional match. And he lost to Best. He lost 1-2. FlaSh never drew T.E.N. He managed to win one PvP, and then he lost a PvP and a PvZ.
Yeah. Best played well, I think. you know, random introduces luck, a lot more luck into the series than choosing a race. So we definitely saw some of that luck emerge in the form of bad luck for FlaSh, good luck for Best. And, you know, I think it's not completely telling yet. I think that we can see things that FlaSh is not as good as his opponents at, for sure. Some of the
controlling
micro
Dragoons.
aspects,
Yeah.
you can see, though, one thing for sure, he really is optimizing his economy in certain situations.
Yeah, his macro always looks good, but there are two moments that really stuck out to me. One was the fact that he just wasn't quite as good with the Dragoon dueling in the middle of the map. The other was his muta control wasn't as good as a Pro Zerg.
Yeah, of course.
He lost those mutas to these. I mean, they did not dodge the Psy Storm, and that's, again, his macro play, it looks good, but controlling these units is really hard. All the StarCraft units require a different kind of touch.
Absolutely. And I mean, you can tell when someone is not main race playing with certain units, right? You're just like, oh, there's a little bit of sharpness that's just not there.
Yeah.
There's just, in Brood War, you get so much out of a unit if you really want to use it, if you're a good player. You know what I mean? Like mutas, Dragoons, Vultures, anything really. It's pretty amazing. But going into this next match, he's playing against Zero, right? This guy is, or Queen. He is the current ASL champion. He is unbelievably strong. He is, like, he is he's dastardly with Zerg. And
he can win a ZVT against FlaSh.
Absolutely,
Let's put that out
he
here.
can, yes.
I mean, we're talking about the most recent ASL champion.
He eliminated FlaSh.
Yeah, and I think he can definitely beat FlaSh in a ZVP. And I think ZVZ, out of all the matchups, I mean, I'm happy to be proven wrong here. I just don't see FlaSh beating Queen in a ZVZ.
Yeah, I think ZVZ is very tough. I think that he would likely use a Ling heavy strat. I think PVZ against Queen is unbelievably hard too, because Queen's PVZ is another level. I mean,
it's true. We are ready to do this. It's going to be the same maps as before. New Empire of the Sun is where we're going to do it.
Yep. All right. I want to see what race FlaSh gets.
Yeah,
That's what I'm excited about. I actually get Zero more excited.
Yeah, this is going to be cool.
Because, this is like, whatever race he gets is going to be really fascinating.
Here we go. FlaSh vs. Queen, game 1 starts now. Oh, God.
Ooh.
Well, luck was on Best's side today. Not for Queen.
Yeah, this should be the best thing that can happen for FlaSh.
Yeah.
Is getting random Terran. Like, already his Terran is so fearsome, but then to add random into that.
So I don't know if you know
this,
but like, because this is about as far away from my knowledge as you can get with StarCraft. What is Zerg like if they're playing against random?
Yeah.
And then like someone spawns a Terran. Is there like a specific pool timing you do to?
Well, I think that you can go 9 pool or over pool or 12 pool. I think all those should be reasonable, right?
I think so.
Those all sound to me like they would be good. I don't know the Zerg theory behind it, but like I know that all 3 of those can be playable against Terran. I think overpool is the worst of them, and I think 12 pool is the best of them. But then you have to balance, like, okay, what if he's Zerg? What if he's Protoss, right? And how do those pool timings line up against that? The one thing that could be feared is, I mean, if you go hatch first, it's a gamble, really, anytime, right? To some degree.
Sure.
Not as much against a chosen Terran, right? That's kind of the one where I guess let's just wait and see. But it looks like he might actually go hatch first. Yeah.
Yeah, he's going to go hatch on 12 here.
Okay. I mean, we know that this is playable against Zerg, right? It's like there's a little bit of a rock, paper, scissors on advantages early game in Zerg vs. Zerg.
Right.
And it is doable against Protoss.
Yeah, it's fine.
Right?
You can do it against Protoss.
As long as they don't make 2 gates in the center of the map. And against Terran, it's standard. So
right.
And it's kind of funny to see this, right? FlaSh is scouting here. We noticed he didn't scout with the Protoss race, but I think as Terran, you kind of need to scout because.
By the way,
did you see the look on Queen's face?
Queen just sees STV and goes, "Okay, I'm against Terran."
But yeah. Look, it's just kind of funny. I don't know. I'm trying to think of, like, in my opinion, as FlaSh here, yeah, and he is. He's going to go for a bio play. I think that's the right way to do it.
Yeah. Now, again, guys, although FlaSh is the greatest StarCraft player of all time, Queen can take a game off him. It's not impossible. Queen's not in any kind of positional dilemma with his opening. This will just, we will go into a very textbook TVZ here.
Yeah. It's not an optimized opening against T.E.N, but that's okay. It's close enough. It's close enough.
Yeah.
It's not, I don't look at this and say, oh, it's garbage.
Yeah, it's not like what we were worried about with Best, where like the PvP, the gateway was like in the middle.
Yeah. Basically, the only thing that happened with Zero or Queen is he got his pool a little bit earlier than you'll get it against T.E.N. That's it. So it's not a big deal. Okay, so it looks like it's going to be standard bio against standard 2-hatch. And of course, there's you know, a whole set of mind games that can occur here. I have to wait and see how they want to play it out. Like with FlaSh, he's just going up to 2 racks, of course, as you have to. He should be playing a pretty standard game here of just bio against Zerg. And with Queen, you'd imagine he'll go into 2-hatch Muta. And this is actually what I wanted to see in the ASL round of 4, and then FlaSh did a bunch of fancy Valkyrie builds over and over and lost 2-3. So this is kind of like something I've been waiting to see, is these two in a real match doing...
Wait, Queen eliminated FlaSh in ASL, right?
That is correct.
Yeah, that's right. Okay.
So, but if you recall, it was like FlaSh busted out a new Valkyrie build over and over.
Yeah.
And Queen eventually kind of dealt with it. And
he shut it down pretty fast.
Yeah, he did. He did a good job with it. Or against it, rather.
So, yeah, let's see how he handles it here now. FlaSh going to push out, try to kill the spotter Zergling.
Yep. Always something you got to try for. His Academy's going to be finishing up here so he can get his stim, get his medics going. He'll have to throw up his engineering bay in the next 20 seconds. You know, standard stuff.
Yeah. The second gas is coming down now for the Zerg. So what the Zerg will try to do is get out, you know, enough Muta, start to pressure and harass the T.E.N. And we'll have a third base. Now, that's actually earlier than I thought the third base was going to be taken. I was about to say we might have some lurkers made and a hatch thrown down, but he's actually going to go for a pretty quick.
Yeah, with 2-hatch play nowadays, you're actually taking the third hatch at a base before your mutas.
Oh, is that the standard now? Okay.
It is the standard now because you can't actually get over there in time. By the time you have your Marine Medic out and you walk towards their third, the mutas will be out and they will kill your group and you will be behind.
So the Ling's back up a little bit here.
Scans the natural.
Yep, he'll know that there's going to be about 5 Mutalisks hatching here.
He'll scan the main in just a second here, probably.
And, yeah, I mean, this is your bread and butter TVZ play here.
So he just kind of assumed that it is, in fact, a Mutalisk build, and it looks like one anyways. And then he scanned the bottom right main.
Yeah, so he didn't see the expansion.
This is a funny little meta thing that happens as well. Zergs have been rotating into taking naturals, and then you don't know where their expansion is, because you never scan the natural, basically.
It's much easier to defend a main than a natural, so he's playing. This will be harder for him to manage later on in the game, but it creates more ambiguity for FlaSh from his perspective here. He doesn't quite know what's going on.
Yeah, FlaSh really doesn't know if there is another base or not, because there are some strange builds where you don't take a third.
See that Muta movement? That's a S-class pro Zerg player using Mutas. Where we saw FlaShes, they were a little bit slow. They tended to stop. The way that Queen can have his Mutalisks flick and hit the Marines over and over is really impressive.
And see, this is another scan looking for a third base. And, okay, that scan right there was looking for a third hatch in the main.
Yeah.
So this is that little meta that I was talking about, where when you take the third base, if you take another natural, and some Zergs have been doing this, I've definitely been hitting on the ladder some, you start scanning other locations. Then you're like, oh, is this that build where they have a third hatch in the main? So he scanned for that. It wasn't that. So he knows there's a third hatch somewhere. He just doesn't know where yet.
He just has not been able to confirm yet.
Yeah.
He probably suspects it.
He probably suspects it is where it is. But
he may also be worried it's in the upper right main. We may see a scan go down there. The den is down. The Queen's Nest is down here. Now, as you get the third gas up at your third base for the Zerg, that's when you can tech into Hive. And what's most important about getting the Hive tech is to get the Defilers out. The Defiler, once the first Dark Swarm has been cast, the entire landscape of the game changes.
Yeah.
All the things that T.E.N could have done up until then, a lot of them, are no longer doable. Queen comes in here, just snipes a turret.
Yeah, just keeping that pressure up a little bit right now as he techs up. He wants to keep FlaSh busy, he wants to pick off anything he can, and his Mutalisk Micro is really, I would say, top 2 in the world.
Yeah, it's actually, this is why we're talking about, ZVZ. It's hard to imagine FlaSh winning a ZVZ against Queen, because, like, Queen is just so good with the muta control. This is very hard, by the way, for the T.E.N. I want to point this out. It can be easy to forget just how difficult it is to move Marines and medics as they're being attacked, as you're stimming. Try not to overstim as well.
So FlaSh just scanned the actual third base, so he finally does know where it is. He saw the drone saturation. He realizes what's going on, that was taken early on. Continuing to kind of just try to move forward some. He has that kind of critical mass with his Bio Ball, where he can force the mutas out of his main simply by moving his Marines forward.
So we have a really big amount of infantry moving down here towards that base. Now remember, had Queen taken the main, he could use the bottleneck entrance and actually put lurkers there, and the T.E.N basically can't break it. But in this case, this is actually a breakable position.
Yeah, it's certainly easier than
Yeah.
than other ones. You see he's actually making some sunk-ins. Again, like you said, if he's inside the main, it's such a bottleneck you don't even need to sunk there.
Yeah, you pretty much have to give up almost at that point in time. But he's going to send a tank down here. The mutas are actually doing a great job whittling this countdown. There are tanks coming here. It looks like that was supposed to be the Defiler mount. It has not started yet. Or if it has, I have not seen it.
No, you're right. That should have been the Defiler mount that he was trying to make. Hopefully he'll get that up right away.
Yeah, he needs that, like, ASAP. Okay, there it is.
Now, some lurkers actually going around the army right now.
Is the chance of a counterattack in the natural, could that be strong?
No, not with this size army. I think it's more likely he'll set up hold position lurkers somewhere to try to just catch like a free chunk of Marines.
So there's one siege tank here. This can start to shell the sunken colonies. By the way, FlaSh is turtled up back at home. He's ready for a counterattack, racing for impact there. One tank will eventually knock down these defenses too, actually.
Yeah, he's going to make this very hard on Queen. Like,
and right now,
you need Consume and you need a Nidus.
Yeah, and actually he's in a hurry. He wants to try to get here before the Defilers are going to be out. The mutas come in here. The Queen is barely hanging on. Just three more lurkers.
Yeah, look at this. The lurkers come in for the flank, and he's targeting down the siege tanks. That's really what he needs to kill.
Okay, great play, but did the Marines get a good enough surround here?
Oh, it seems like he has enough Marines. He just needs to run away from those lurkers in the back. Hard to flank with lurkers like that. And look at this, just massacring the third base.
Yeah, he actually, with surgical precision, got in there just barely with enough that there's no way I think the Queen could save this base. And this is usually where well, let's see, is he going to lose these Marines? He needs to just ensure that he doesn't get, that he gets his hatch. And I think the game is basically won there.
Oh, he's really far ahead as long as he gets the hatch. Yeah,
okay, the hatch goes down.
He didn't just get the hatch either. He killed a ton of lurkers. He killed the mutas. That's it. GG.
And that's why FlaSh is the greatest player with T.E.N. Yeah. We need to see if he can win some more games with his off race. But, bad luck there for Queen. FlaSh draws T.E.N. as the greatest T.E.N. player. I thought Queen did an impressive job, but you can kind of see, like, Queen, he had a lot of good ideas, like trying to kill the tanks, but then the Marines had just enough surface area that they could pretty much win that fight. So now we go to game 2.
Yeah. That was a cool game, though. I really like getting to kind of show people at the pro level what it looks like when you take a kind of sneaky expansion. It really changed the whole landscape of that game. But yeah, going into our next map, Optimizer. What race do you hope FlaSh gets?
I would like to see a ZVZ. Let's do it.
I would too.
I want a ZVZ.
I want to see it. I want to see it.
I'm just curious to see how he'll handle it.
Yeah.
I would actually like to see Muta versus Muta ZVZ if we could. He might try to avoid that.
I just can't imagine him going for that.
But if PVZ, I welcome as well. I will be bummed out if it's a TVZ.
Well, this is random, man. We're adding volatility in every way here.
Yeah. So we're gonna go to Optimizer, and yeah, I mean, let's just kind of got to wait to see what race FlaSh draws before we can really unpack this.
Yeah.
Again, we're hoping he doesn't get T.E.N here. Because we kind of know what the result is going to be.
Honestly, as a T.E.N player, I'm totally cool with him getting T.E.N for the rest of the night.
Just seeing what he does.
Imagine if he just gets T.E.N 9 games night and 9-0s. And I'm like, yeah, see, his random's amazing.
Yeah. No one can touch his random. All right, guys, game 2 is ready. Let's see what race FlaSh gets. Oh. Wait. What?
FlaSh is
T.E.N. Oh, there is no God.
Love it.
Oh, man.
Well, you know what? He got the bad race twice against Best there.
So Best, I mean, that's so cool that you can beat FlaSh's random and Queen can't.
Well, that's the really funny thing, right? Because these matches tonight are not really going to tell us all that much because no matter what he spawns as, there's a story for that, right? There's reasoning behind why everything happens. He has different level matchups with every race, you know?
So this was one of the things that we knew could have happened, and we were all kind of joking about it. Like, well, what if he just gets T.E.N 2 times? It's like, well, then I guess you lose. I guess FlaSh's random is better than your main race.
Yeah, maybe. I can't wait, though, because Zero had such a sour look on his face when he scouted T.E.N last game. But now that he lost, and it's going to happen again, look at this 9 pool.
Wow.
When he sees FlaSh as T.E.N again, just wait till you just see like his soul is going to be crushed, basically.
So if you're a T.E.N player, you see Zerg doing this, what are you thinking?
9 pool speed?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, actually, that was a 8 Overlord. Okay. Well, 9 pool speed, like basically once you stop the first piece of the rush.
Artosis.
Oh, is he
I
going
asked you a
command
question,
first?
and I don't even want you to answer. Shut your mouth, Artosis. He's going command center first, and Queen is going for a 9 pool.
Yeah,
he
FlaSh
can
is
actually
just
win
gonna
this.
Die.
Oh my God. So he went for CC first.
This is so funny.
And here's the thing: Zergs don't really do this build that often against T.E.N at the highest level.
No, they do not, because it's not that hard to stop. Like, if you see it coming before it's at you, then you kind of just block it, and the Zerg economy is weaker. You just have to watch for all-ins, basically.
Yeah. And so FlaSh, thinking, all right, he's not going to scout me. He's probably going to go for hatch first. He's going to do... This is actually a very... not very common. It's a good tournament build, because since the theory right now, and it has been for a while, is that 9 pool is just a bad opener because all they have to do is stop it in their head.
Yeah.
That a lot of players don't do this, so Terrans take risks here. So
he's going right to the main, too.
So this just is great.
Scoutless right to the main.
Now watch that, but Queen's probably like, oh man, but it's like, no, Queen, you actually have this game won right now. Oh God, don't chase that.
Well, you're probably not thinking he went command center first.
Of
but
course.
FlaSh he's dead, man.
Here we go. Oh my God. Oh, he pulled away too quickly.
Okay, now the Lings are going back. Like, he's just kind of scouting him out right now. I think, like, Queen's build was much more prepared for him to be Protoss or Zerg.
Yeah.
But finding command center first is actually better than both of those.
Yeah. He's going to stop the CC from finishing.
Dude, he was at 1485 of 1500 there.
Okay, the one rate's going to come out. SCVs are pretty beefy, but they will die very quickly to speed links here. We have the 1 Marine out. T-taps out, GG.
Okay, well, I gotta be a little bit critical.
Oh, look at Queen.
I gotta be a little bit critical of going command center first against Zerg when you're random.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Because that's like, Queen went hatch first that game, but like that key. No, come on.
Yeah, well, the thing is, because you don't know what race you're against, you're making calculated bets, and it's kind of weird to see FlaSh make his own calculated bet against his opponent's calculated bet. I don't think FlaSh should go CC first.
He's goofing. Because that's like, he can just beat Queen straight up TBC. You don't need that. Command center first is the risky build you do when your opponent's a little bit better than you.
Yeah, where you're like, okay, this guy, I'm surprised. Will we get a third T.E.N? But we get a third Terran game from FlaSh here.
Oh.
Give me that ZVZ. I want it. The PVZ, I'll absolutely take that.
I want the ZVZ here.
PVT, or sorry, TVZ, I want my money back.
Well, after that build, you're gonna get your money back, Tastes.
Yeah.
Because we're filing a class action lawsuit against FlaSh right now for wasting our time in game number 2.
If FlaSh gets Terran again, I'm going full Karen mode right now. All right? I'm gonna want to talk to the manager.
Yeah.
Look.
Queen
Oh
Zerg.
my God!
Zerg
It's a
for Zerg.
CVZ.
Yes.
Artosis, kiss me.
Okay. Cool. All right, now we
Sick.
get to see. My theory is that he'll do some sort of Ling heavy play because it seems impossible for him to win in a Muta War, so he has to gain an advantage before that, right?
There's been so many surprises today. By the way, FlaSh loses here. He's 0-2 with his debuting random.
Yeah. Now, what if FlaSh goes Hydra and just gets bopped, can we just walk out? Like, is that okay?
Yeah.
Imagine that. It's like, wait, FlaSh, have you ever even watched the CVZ? He's like, well, this hits ground and air, so I thought it would be the counter.
We go to the third best of 3, and it's FlaSh gets Terran twice, and Bisu 2-0s. I'm like, what are we doing? Why did we? I was just like, why did we all get together and agree to do this? This is foolish. Like, do you want to have them all play against my random? I'll do it.
Oh, amazing. Amazing. Okay, a 9 pool.
Yeah.
All right, all right.
Which is very viable ZVZ. I think I feel like ZVZ is a matchup that like Artosis and I can give the least amount of insight in, as you're the Terran
you
on
make
the Protoss.
Lings and then Mutas and Scourge. if you
Yeah.
get there.
There's probably a lot more going on, but we can't see it.
They don't get that many drones.
Yeah.
It's clicky, clicky, many clicks. That's basically what the game is.
Yeah.
Macro? No. There's no
No.
macro in this matchup. If you get over 27 supply, you're basically economically cheesy.
Yeah. You're like the Warren Buffett of ZVZ. It's like, calm down, buddy.
Yeah. Okay, it's hatch first here for Queen. So maybe the 9 pool is going to...
By the way, small, but definitely worth pointing out, FlaSh will get the scout off first. His Overlord is going to the right, whereas Queen's Overlord is headed to the north.
And actually, he'll see the creep and be able to turn around, and this is going to do very well for his build, right? Because Queen still won't know what it is, and FlaSh is going to have 9 pool speedlings on the way. So he already has speed coming.
Yeah, is FlaSh just going to kill him?
Yeah, I think so. I think he's going to beat him ZVZ. This is why he went Command Center first, because he wanted to get a different race against him to kill him with Tasteless. I'm sticking to that story. Okay, turn around, turn around, turn around. Or actually, maybe he just...
Okay.
Yeah, okay, turn around. Nope, turn it right back around.
So the drone is going to spot the Lings.
Okay, let's see Zero's face. Ling's on the way, Zero. Oh, what's up? Slot machines, yeah! Yeah!
We're going to Vegas, baby!
You know that beautiful skilled game that we've always loved?
Yeah.
Screw that, man!
Uh-oh.
Oh, that would be so funny if Zero just disconnects. He's like, I don't know.
Yeah. Now, keep in mind, the drone micro here, this should be a situation that even though FlaSh is at the advantage, this kind of control is something Queen's probably just going to be a little bit better at. I'm saying that, but then this is looking like really...
Dude,
he has
it's
not
drones
lost a drone.
against Lings. Well, you say that, Tasteless, and then how many does he lose?
Okay, Lings are out, but Ling speed's going to finish here for FlaSh.
Oh, yeah, no, he's going to crush this Tasteless. Watch this.
Okay, there's a Ling speed. Oh, actually, hold on.
Hold on. More Lings are on the way.
Who's the true Zerg player? Oh! Okay.
Okay, but how many drones are left? Queen's at 10 supply. FlaSh dominating with 13 supply.
So,
oh, he jukes and jives. He gets in the main Tasteless.
there's 3 drones here.
So how many does he have? 6 or 7?
So Ling speed should be coming here, by the way. Yeah, we just have to see how many drones he can pick off.
God, he actually... FlaSh has, like, no drones, too. Okay, so Queen just went up to 7 drones. There's a Spire on the way, so as long as FlaSh does not throw away his Zerglings... Here's what I'm afraid of. He's going to lose these Zerglings in the main.
Oh!
Zero's going to make nothing but Zerglings and go kill him.
Oh, my God. Nice snipe there on the drone. Yeah, so there's the inevitability of 3 mutas coming out here, and there's no anti-air. Now, this is all very typical ZVZ. It's not like, Queen doesn't know that there's a threat of mutas or something. By the way, Queen's lane control is looking better than FlaSh's.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah. Well, that's for sure, yeah. All FlaSh has to do here, though, I think, is stall out a little bit, right?
I think
Okay, what are we seeing right there? What are you...
Well, this is the thing. I mean, think of how many years Queen has been microing lings. It's...
If all his lings were Marines, he already would have won this game. Just want to throw that out there.
So, there was an attempted sneak attack there.
From both of them.
Yeah, now, by the way, this is where it starts to get weird. Are there enough lings at the ramp here? This is... If he can actually... He doesn't have a block! He doesn't have... Okay, he does have a block. Sorry, everybody.
If he flies even 1 muta across the map, that's going to be lights out, I think.
Hold on. Again, better link control here from Queen. Better link control here from Queen. All right, there's... I don't know if there's mutas hatching. I don't know if there's lings coming here.
I think he has a... Yeah, he definitely has mutas on the way because he spent gas.
Oh, you're right. Good point. Good catch.
Yeah, there's a muta.
1 muta out.
But we've seen this before where the ling player can actually just kind of run around.
Yeah.
With
The lings do damage and are quicker than the mutas, so they actually... The mutas suddenly end up taking the role of a sunken colony here instead of
flying sun.
Yeah.
But it doesn't screw up the AI of the lings.
The lings.
Oh, it's so funny
Oh.
to watch FlaSh fly out. Like as, it's like of course lings are going to run in the second you fly out.
1 spore there at the entrance, 1 spore in the main. I think that Queen has, despite the pretty insanely bad situation he started out with, he's basically navigated this to a position where I don't think FlaSh can really recover. FlaSh is down to four drones. Am I seeing this correct?
Yeah, he's pretty low right now, but I think that FlaSh still has potential in this game, even though Queen's economy looks a bit better. If you just continually make mutas,
Yeah.
you actually get, like, first off, you can stop units from going in between the 2 hatcheries. Oh god, is he just... Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
It's like, damn, man, if you run those lings out, you're just going to lose every drone.
He is just
Still
going
to
to
lose every
drones. His control is just too
Oh,
good.
if those were SCVs, he would have
2
had
workers.
My god.
I think this game is unwinnable here.
I think at this point you might be right.
He's just got enough defense. So
Ouch.
FlaSh, it looks like he's going to lose this 0-2. The mutas are going to come forward, but he can make another sunk, he can make another spore, depending on what he wants to that creep colony.
Yeah.
Okay, FlaSh laughing to
That
himself.
should be
I think we're going to see him tap out here. What an insane day this has been.
It's been
It's
pretty
just
wild.
been like GG
dot.
dot. And there's Queen again.
He's got the smirk.
Yep, the Protosses and Zergs are smiling today, Artosis.
Yeah.
Even the Terrans are smiling a little bit. It's good to see random players go down.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
We can all unite
As
in
much
our
as all
hatred.
the races, we all hate each other, I think we can all... It's like that meme where it's like Arnold Schwarzenegger and the arm. What's the other guy's name?
Yeah, that guy. It's it'll come back.
Carl Weathers.
Carl Weathers.
Yeah, we could all get together and be like, yeah, we hate random players.
Yeah, screw them.
I'll tell you what, though. I mean, well, actually, we don't even have time, guys. I won't tell you. We have FlaSh vs. Bisu coming up next. Don't go away. That's our final match tonight.
안 질 것 같은데. 랜덤한테 개발릴 것 같아. 네.
나 이거 오지게 먹는데. 아 씨.
그래서 이거 연습 좀 하려고. 그냥 이번에 그 하잖아요. T.E.N 저랑. 그래서 어디가 되는 거?
아 랜덤으로 나오는 거
네.
영어.
그 8월 4일날 하거든요, 여러분들. 그 T.E.N. 근데 그 용이 형, 태경이 형이랑 명훈이 형이랑 재욱이 형이랑 하거든요.
뭐야? 왜 3명 그렇게 됐어?
3명 그렇게 했어요. 뭔가 약간 이름값도 있어야 될 것 같아가지고 실력도 있으면서 어떻게 생각이었는데 할 거?
8월 4일에
네.
그냥 안 질 것 같은데.
테라 안 나오면 테라 안 나오면 절대 안 준마.
테란 나오면 너가 안 질 것 같고 나머지 종족은
한 판도 못 이길 것 같아요.
그치?
한 판도?
나머지 종족은 나는 안진마지.
좀 까다롭지 않아요? 저 저거 걸리고 이러면 형 왜냐면 막 그 마당을 못 먹 마당 파일로 막 이런 걸 잘 못하잖아요.
아이 원게이트 플레이도 안진마지. 본진 원게이트 플레이에도 앉아.
맞아요?
안지지.
그래서 이게 연습 좀 하려고요. 진짜.
7시에 할걸요 아마도.
그때요? 언제요? 뭐요?
땐
7시에요. 8월 4일 7시에 합니다, 여러분들. 근데 아프리카에서도 중계 가능해요.
중계해.
네, 아프리카에서도 BJ들 중계할 것 같은데.
네, 화요일인가 그럴 거예요.
네, 태균이 형이랑 재욱이 형이랑 명훈이 형.
영호가 하자고 해서.
나 원맨팀은 아니야. 다 잘했어. 다 열심히 하고.
재용님 이번에 달리가 나가시던데 영호님 이기실 것 같나요?
영호랑 하는데 이길 것 같냐고요? 아니요, 솔직히 저는 테란 영호보다 랜덤 영호가 더 무서워요. 토스 입장에서 진짜 그렇고, 토스 입장에서는 왠지 알아? 토스 입장에서는 왜 더 어렵냐면 테란 영호보다 랜덤 영호가 영호 저거 뜨지? 그럼 영호가 저그로 풀토전 개잘하지? 상성 먹힌 거지? 풀푸전 빌드 싸움이지? 테란 나오면은 지지? 이게 확률상 테란 영호보다 더 무섭다니까. 왜냐면 테란전은 그래도 테란이라고 생각하고 하는데 영호 랜덤은 랜덤 영호는 진짜 이거 종족 3개 다 생각해내니까 더 빡세다니까. 토스 입장에서는 진짜 난 그 더 빡세단 말이다. 랜덤 영호가 테란 영호보다. 테란 영호도 더 빡센데 못 이긴단 말인데 랜덤한테 개발릴 것 같은데 무섭다는.
태경님은 안진마이시던데요.
태경이는 안진마라고요? 저는 태경이가 아니잖아요. 저는 태경이 클래스가 아니니까. 근데 내 영호 빡세던데 랜덤. 내가 가장 무서운 시나리오 영호랑 푸푸전 했는데 내가 빌드 먹고 졌어. 와, 그때가 제일 무섭다. 솔직히 딴 거 다 필요 없고. 와, 나 그게 제일 무섭다 진짜.
이번에 캔 리그 나가시던데 어떠신가요? 생각하시는 최상의 시나리오나 최악의 시나리오요?
아니 뭐 제가 어제 영호 토스랑 해봤는데 영호 토스는 솔직히 진짜 별거 없더라고요. 진짜 막 그냥 장난치면서 했는데도 이겨가지고 영호 토스 만나면은 뭐 그냥 이길 것 같고, 최악이 영호 테란이죠. 최악은 영호의 랜덤 테란인데, 왜냐 초이스 하고 하는 테란도 힘들어요 솔직히. 근데 랜덤 테란이면은 빌드 선택에 있어서도 좀 제약이 많고 해가지고 그게 진짜 최악이에요. 최악인데 오히려 나 랜덤 테란한테 졌다고 하면 되니까 그냥 핑계 댈 거 없이 깔끔하게 그거는 포기하고 테란 배제하고 할 거예요. 이용호 토스, 이용호 저그한테 지는 거는 절대 용납 못하기 때문에 토스 저그한테만 안 진다는 마인드로 그거 2개만 노리고 할 거예요. 예, 그래서 그냥 찍고 할 거라 최상은 영호 토스, 최악은 영호 테란. 영호랑 저그 대 저그는 이 빌드 싸움인데 뭐 그래도 반반만 가도 이기지 않을까 싶어요. 예. 됐나? 방금 저 혹시 막 좀 징징대고 이런 거 없었죠? 씨, 나 또 이거 또 가튜브에서 나 욕 오지게 먹는데. 씨. 없었어요. 다행이다. 아이고 감사합니다. 예. 다행이네요.
저거전 한번 보여줘?
네.
조명 너무 센데? 원게이트 알 거란 말이야. 너한테 알려준다고 했으니까 그걸 이용한 땡렉을 갈겨버릴게요. 원래 12합인데 그냥 게이트 플레이 보여줄게. 내가 너한테 알려준다고 했으니까 피절에 날라갔으면 바로 12합 갈길 거봐.
그러네. 역시 얍삽해. 얍삽의 대가.
그래.
김명우.
난 근데 안 되지. 이게 다? 제발 영호야 제발 뭐야 이거 보고 아니야?
뭐야 근데 이거 좋지 않았나 성우?
이거는 포즈 깨진 순간 못 이겨 이거는. 아 영어 있으니까 집중이 안 되네.
아니 진짜 보고 깨달았어요. 저거 깨달았어. 저거. 히드라가 좋다는 거. 저거에서 히드라만 써야겠다.
Welcome back. Right now, FlaSh cannot win a series. Take a game off. He's won a PvP against Best. He won a TVZ against Queen. But overall, this has been a pretty poor performance by him. I don't know if he can pull it off against Bisu. I do feel like Bisu's better than Best. I think that's fair to say.
Bisu's PvP and PvZ are really good.
Really good.
And
he can beat FlaSh in a PvT. I mean, it's unlikely, but he's one of those players. Bisu's basically the best Protoss for Brood War, right? I mean, there's some other great ones, Rain, Snow, but I think it's safe. It's fair to say Bisu's innovated Protoss more than anybody else.
Well, that's for sure.
Even though Protoss,
you just changed what you said, though. Yeah, for sure, he innovated more.
Yeah. But I think he's also still, like, I think if you had to have a guy come out and represent the entire Protoss race,
yeah, it would fall on him.
Bisu's our guy.
It would fall on him. He is Bisu.
Yeah. So Protoss is weakest to random in the sense that Protoss have the most difficult decisions to make. This all comes down to where you put the first pylon.
Yeah.
The pylon has to power the next building you're going to make, the gate. So it's like, I don't know. So again, this is going to be interesting. But right now, as far as we can all tell, taking on the best players in the world as random is not a feat a human can do yet. He is not winning his games. FlaSh is not coming out on top.
He's not winning yet.
He's not winning yet. All right, and this should be his hardest opponent yet. Bisu, we're going to jump right into this game. Let's do this. Let's see what race FlaSh gets.
I want him to have Zerg so badly, Tasis. T.E.N.
Oh my God.
Okay, so, but what if, as you were saying on the break, what if Bisu 2-0s FlaSh's T.E.N. and that's the end of the match and we're just like left really wanting and wondering and like...
Bisu just crushes him 2-0 and do T.E.N. games and we're like, why did we all agree to do this? Why did we think this was a good idea? In retrospect, it's like, yeah, of course you can't win with random against the other best players in the world. This game's too hard.
Yeah.
I really thought today, guys, okay, Bisu, in my head, I thought maybe most likely to win. Just because he's been playing Protoss for so long and has had to play against random on ladder. Probably has a lot of really good stuff. Best didn't seem that confident, and then Queen, I thought it just kind of depends.
Yeah.
And the results are completely opposite. Also, one of the rare moments, we basically have never got to talk about this in a cast, but the decision for FlaSh as he went random and spawned T.E.N. his best race to make a gamble and go command center first.
Yeah.
And because Queen had no idea what he was up against, decided that maybe 9-pull speed's the best way to go, and then end up actually killing FlaSh with a hard counter. You don't normally think of the random player getting hard countered with a build. That's almost inconceivable, but that's what we saw here.
Yeah, and I put some more thought into it. It might be because of the second gas that's in the main. Like, I haven't watched many TVZs on Optimizer, to be honest, but I could see that playing a role, right? Because Zerg hits critical mass at 4 gas, and then the third base would be the 4th gas. So that maybe it's a map where T.E.N. is in such a bad position he felt like he needed to do that.
So this is this is actually all manageable. It's not ideal for Protoss, but this is a build you can do, the forward gate. Actually, I think Bisu is one of the best in the whole world at this specific build. Well, so we're in store for a very good PvT.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, that's tight. So
yeah,
like a Zealot can't even do anything.
Yeah, that's correct. Actually, you know what? It's not the end of the world.
No,
but it's not what you would want to get against.
He might have even canceled his Zealot, to be honest.
I think he is going to have one. Maybe he'll just cancel it, throw a core down.
I feel like when you make a Zealot and it doesn't do anything early game PvT, at least at the pro level, that's really good for T.E.N.
Yeah, the way this build is supposed to work against the T.E.N. is you start to attack the SCVs and the Marines, and you can push them up the ramp, and then you end up with about 2 Zealots and Dragoons, and you want to be careful not to overextend because it's easy to do so and you just die, but just kind of keep the T.E.N really honest, keep them under control.
Yeah.
It's a good pressure build. It's actually one I like to do a lot.
By the way, this is hilarious. This is how good they are, that Bisu has chased the SCV to this base, and FlaSh knows that if he tries to leave, the probe will catch him.
Yeah.
And the probe can do a moving shot. So, yeah, that's like really hilarious. That's how strong these two players are. So if anyone tries this on the ladder, guys, just count to any number you want and then drill your SCV home, and 99% of the time it'll get home.
Bisu's so good. And by the way, the moving shot with workers is like among one of the harder micro tricks to do correctly. Do you not agree with me? You like?
I wouldn't know because my worker can't do it.
I find, oh yeah, that's right. But the drone and the probe, like, yeah, it's really hard to actually do. But Bisu's so good with the moving shot that this SCV literally can't get out without getting killed. So there's this weird mini game going on at the top right.
Yeah.
By the way, this is a 2-factory build.
Yeah, this is interesting because it's not just 2-factory, but he went Vulture first, which means that Dragoon pressure is going to be really much stronger against him. Also, he hasn't made many Marines, which will speed up your second factory. But now every Marine that pops out takes at least one shot. Look at that, 2 shots. So suddenly your Marine is at half health.
It's 4 4 Dragoon shots to kill a Marine. So the fact that, like, hold on. Okay, good deflection. Keep in mind, in a 2-factory build, you can end up killing that gateway off. Yeah. Protosses have to be careful because you can just straight up die to this.
Oh yeah, 2-factory can kill you.
It's regarded as kind of a cheesy way to play the game, but like, you got to do what wins here, you know? By the way, Bisu's done an excellent job. He's only lost shields on that Dragoon.
Yeah, he's keeping a lot of pressure on, and he's actually gone for the Nexus. So that makes it much more likely that FlaSh can actually do something with the push. But let's see what he adds now. Does he like go Robo? Does he go into another gateway?
The best thing that the Protoss can do from here is if he gets a Reaver. The Reaver can stop the 2-factory push.
Well, the 2-fact will hit before the Reaver's out, but the counterplay with the Reaver is amazing against 2-fact because you're just kind of like low on everything and your units are across the map. But he's gone for the Robo. He has some damage on the Zealot. He has, I don't think he really has damage on the Goon.
Is this the right number of SCVs?
Is it 2?
I guess it's FlaSh.
Yes, 2 is the right number of SCVs.
I guess if it's FlaSh doing it, it's absolutely always the right thing.
Yeah, I guess that's true, but 2 is the standard.
We're like sitting here like, nah, FlaSh did it wrong. So from here you have Vultures follow this up, and this is a real like battering ram of an attack.
Yeah.
And this is one that's really oftentimes intended to actually kill the Protoss.
Yeah, look at this. Now, FlaSh goes up the ramp, but the Zealot leading the charge. Bisu's going to be in good shape here. He should be able to hold this.
Okay, now he's targeting the tanks.
Yeah. So you target the tanks, and then you just try to choke everything up so the Vultures can't kill your probes.
Okay, so does he have a block? Does he have a block? There's nothing back at home.
Oh, that's bad news for Bisu right there. Oh my God. He's going to lose everything, man. You had to have some sort of wallop.
Yeah, he should have had a pylon or something there to defend.
Ooh, this is going to be insanity damage. Okay,
yeah.
Look at that. The Dragoon pops out. It doesn't even matter. He targets it down with the Marines and Vultures. He has enough left over.
I think this is fatal. I don't think he can recover from this. There's just nothing to save the probes. Looks like he was going to go to Reaver Tech shortly after this, but I mean, the probes are going to all be killed before this can get fixed. And there's mines in between the main and the natural. GG, FlaSh dominates, but with his T.E.N.
Yes. Well, no, with his random tasteless.
With his random.
You can't have it both ways.
It looks like Bisu will have trouble against the random player.
Oh, that's so funny. And the thing is, everything is so random today, even that build. Like, you never see FlaSh go 2-fact.
Yeah.
The thing is, it's really good to mix in sometimes at the pro level, I think. When you do see T.E.N.s mix it in, it generally has good results.
So,
but it's not something you're expecting, right? Like, FlaSh is so good at every other aspect.
I can't remember the last time I ever saw FlaSh go 2-factory.
I literally can't remember.
I was actually really intrigued when I saw him do it, because I thought, I don't remember him.
You see it more from Sharp. We saw it a little tiny bit from Last.
Yeah.
Light doesn't really do it, but yeah, FlaSh is definitely not someone that pulls that build
that's
off.
why there wasn't a second gateway made back at home for Bisu right away. He thought, okay, you're going to expand. I don't like the situation.
That seems reasonable.
All right, guys, we are actually going to have a short break, and when we come back, we'll go to Game 2. Don't go away. and we'll be going to that break. I
Will
promise you.
All right.
Any moment now. Yeah, ready? 1, 2, 3, go to break. T.E.N Dynamic Busan. The esports night is back.
Yes. And so far, FlaSh's Random has won 3 maps.
Yeah, wait, he's only won 1 game as Protoss, 2 T.E.N games. He's even lost a game as T.E.N.
Yep.
We're gonna go to Optimizer, and let's see.
Please get T.E.N again.
Please, I just want you to get T.E.N every time, FlaSh. That's what they're here to see. We're here to see your T.E.N.
Please, Zerg. Oh my God.
Pack it up, guys. I'm going home.
Well, this is the funny thing. Here's what's hilarious. Like, imagine this, right? Because we're doing this. This is his first official outing as Random. He's going to play Random in the next season of ASL. ASL is not that many games. What if he just randoms T.E.N like 70% of the time and just wins ASL again? And we're like, do we call that a random win? Do we call that T.E.N win? What if he loses every map with Protoss and Zerg in the next ASL, but randoms T.E.N enough times that he wins the ASL? Like, what do we do then?
Yeah,
what do we call that?
I think I'm like, are you have some kind of magic lucky power? Can we go to the casino with you and you tell me to bet on black or red? Because I don't know how to explain this any other way.
Well, he would tell you that, and then it would spin onto the 00, man, which is the T.E.N logo. This is his 4th game as T.E.N. That's right.
Yeah, man, when you're playing roulette and it gets the 00 and you just see everybody at the casino not happy about that. Like, wow.
Oh, my God. Okay.
So, this is a forward gate build again.
Yeah, the 10 gate.
This is a map I don't feel like I understand that well, especially with random involved, like what the ins and outs are of it.
Well, yeah. I've seen actually a fair amount of TVPs here, and Starport play seems good, Reaver play seems good here. There's
Carrier's
just like
quite good.
I haven't seen as many games go late, but yeah, it's there's like a lot of funny places you can kind of fly over and do some harassment.
I'm really interested that this is the build that Bisu does against random. I never forward gate. I'm just really curious, like, so what happens if it's a PvP? Like, what is? I almost wish we could have had FlaSh go get Protoss just so I could see for my own, personal reasons.
Yeah.
So
I'm not sure.
My ladder games will improve.
Yeah, maybe. You know what makes me scared about this?
Yeah.
Well, actually, it's almost a good thing for you and I who actually play a lot of ladder.
Yeah.
That FlaSh is not destroying this match as random. Because if he was, there would be an influx of random players tomorrow that I don't want to play
that's
against.
a good point. Yeah, I'd queue up and suddenly everybody's playing random.
Yeah. They're like, oh, FlaSh, it looks great.
Yeah.
I have FlaSh's builds now, but he keeps randoming Terran, so I don't think anyone's going to be like, all right, let's do it.
So, SCV is going to come in here and get a scout off. And, I mean, I don't know what FlaSh is going to do. We basically have a mirrored situation, although the wall-in isn't completely tight. So there can be some zealot pressure.
Yeah, he has a good SimCity against Zealots, though, and he already has 2 Marines out, so he's totally fine here. It's FlaSh. Like, oh!
Yeah.
So a little bit of miss micro right there.
Yeah, you got to be really careful with these Marines.
Oh, they bump into each other.
So far, FlaSh's control has basically been flawless here. Okay, he does get 1 kill on the SCV, and he'll back up now. And it's a little bit of a pressure build. You know, a lot of times players might look at this and say, yeah, but the Zealot always gets chased away eventually, right? Yeah, but you did force him to make Marines. You are keeping them honest with you. Now, I don't think we're going to have another 2 factory this time.
No.
Yeah, in fact, he's going to send an SCV out pretty quickly here to take a command center.
Absolutely.
And what a lot of Terrans do is they use the Vulture as a counterattack measure if the Protoss tries to come back out on the map again.
Yeah, just having a Vulture out there makes it so that you have to leave at least a goon at home. Also, don't forget, this was a gasless opening from Bisu, so his Dragoon is actually pretty darn late. Like, FlaSh is not really under any pressure right now.
So here's the Nexus. And we're going to be going into somewhat of a macro game here.
Yeah, it does look that way. It's these openings, can't really see anyone doing any damage anytime soon, really. Vulture going to pop in, see what's what. Oh, a Dragoon is out. Okay, bye-bye.
Good defense there by Bisu.
Yeah. And the Vulture just runs away. Looks like a Robo coming up. I think that Bisu will go into Reaver from here.
Yeah, Reaver's pretty trendy now. There's a small chance because of the positions they're in, he actually skips it. Because it's such a long travel distance to get over there with the Reaver. Sometimes in spots like this, because they're probably not going to push just because of the distance. Early on, at least, you can go into Arbiter. But then again, sometimes if you go quick Arbiter, they can push you and just kill you.
True. It's just, you know, the kind of weird layout of this map with those. They're not exactly island expands, but you have to mine out those minerals to get into the 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock. I feel like that might be a big part of the reason why a lot of people do like to go Reaver here. But we'll see what he does. A little bit of pressure coming out of Bisu, but FlaSh has more than enough. You're not really going to do this against FlaSh.
You want to see if he gets siege mode or mines or what.
Maybe if he had 4 goons and it was turn rate 12, he'd go get that tank. But
yeah.
2 goons
exactly
in
that story.
land latency. I don't think so, bro. Get those goons out of here.
So we have the second gateway coming down here. We're still waiting to see if it's going to be Reaver tech or if he'll rush into Arbiters or maybe even Carriers. I do feel like you can't quite go Carriers against FlaSh.
Oh, yeah, it's so hard to go
It seems like
Carriers
he
against
just
FlaSh.
doesn't lose to them that often.
Truly strong macro Terrans don't care about Carriers.
Yeah.
It's the rest of us weaklings that do.
And so we have the Armory coming down here.
Kind of, yeah. I guess nothing looks too off, to be honest. This is just some good, solid play.
Pushing the Dragoons away here. Get a little bit more of the map.
They're both getting ready to take those thirds. You see them mining out the ramp minerals.
So, again, this is going to be our macro PVT here. And I don't see any shuttle, or excuse me, any Reaver play here. So he's going to tech into Arbiters from here. He's got 2 gases.
You know, Bisu's never really been much of a Reaver guy in this matchup.
Yeah, that's more like Snow. I know FlaSh likes to go Reaver quite a lot when he gets Protoss against Terran.
It's because he's had to play against Snow.
Yeah, he sees what those things
he knows
can
how brutal they really can be.
So we'll have the Starport thrown down here, Stargate, excuse me, thrown down. Templar Archives, and then the Forge a little bit later on. And basically, the idea is that, like, the Protoss is not going to be able to attack into the Terran right now and do anything. And so you might as well just rush into Arbiters for recall and stasis so that you're in a good spot later on.
Get plenty gas on this map, no problem there. FlaSh, though, just going to macro up well. It's, you know, the thing is, it's at this level, it's not right to call it a weak matchup, but this is Bisu's least strong matchup.
He's really, 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 really good at it, but Bisu made a name for himself just dominating Zergs.
And Protoss.
And Protoss.
His PvP was, before Rain, there was Bisu, you know?
Yeah. I think Rain is basically now the definitive PvP god.
Yeah, yeah. Well, he's probably the definitive PUBG god now, I don't know, but doesn't play as much StarCraft as he used to.
Stream it every other game lately.
Oh, man.
So, there's a third Nexus coming down, and basically we're going to get into this macro race here. Now, T.E.N has to be careful because recall is an inevitability, and this is a map where actually things are pretty far apart.
Yeah, yeah.
But, you know, FlaSh is basically the best in the entire world at this.
Oh, yes.
I mean, he just...
he will optimize the hell out of this. He's going to be in a good spot, I think. All right, Scan sees a DT, so that actually tells him a lot.
Oh, is there going to be a DT drop? So I've seen Bisu doing this more and more lately. The DT...
A lot of Zergs, I mean, a lot of Protosses like this before their Arbiter now,
yeah.
to drop. I normally don't see 3 DTs, but a lot of the times they'll fly over with 2 DTs in a shuttle.
Well, it seems like the idea is to try to get them to drain scans. The DT can force a scan in a lot of positions, and if they scan it, you just pick it back up and run out. And, you know, scans with Arbiters, especially when you're pushing out on the map, when you don't have a Science Vessel out yet. And, you know, by the way, the Science Vessel is easy for Protoss to snipe. It's a really weak unit. Dragoons, if you just right-click on it, it's going to go down. But this is a cool way to control the game. It's also a delayed DT drop, so it's like there's a likelihood the player's not quite ready for this.
No, if you're going for it quickly, it's actually, in a lot of ways, easier to defend because you're aware and kind of waiting for it. You're kind of like figuring out that it's happening.
So the idea is, oh, he doesn't get away, but
Good
you want to
kill.
run away out from under the scan. And we don't have a Science Vessel out yet, and so like...
Wow, this is actually killing it. This is a great, like, 3 DT drops.
It's this funny concept where, like, because the DTs didn't come right away, a lot of players don't factor it in as a possibility later on, and then it's even stronger. So, look, he strained all the scans there, and it kind of looks funny, right? Because you're thinking, well, was that really worth it? He didn't get that much. But again,
I thought it was pretty good.
I think it's great.
Yeah.
The Arbiter should be coming out shortly here.
Oh, Bisu's looking strong. He's taking another main in the bottom left. He's going up to 4 base. FlaSh just nailing his upgrades, getting his factories rolling. Looks like he's getting ready to take that 4th base as well. But as you said, the recalls are going to be a little bit tough. Like, the bases are kind of far apart. For instance, that base that FlaSh just went to take his 4th, if you do a recall there, that base is gone. Your army cannot get there quickly enough, I think, to really defend that well. But at the same time, can they get the army out easily, right? Like, you might have to recall out. You might, you know, there's a set of things that you might want to do there.
So these Zealots can actually fight these Goliaths pretty well. Goliaths are funny units in that they're actually not very good against the ground, but they're so good against the air. So he forces a cancel. That's actually a pretty big victory there for Bisu. That's the first Arbiter, right?
Yes. That was, yeah, the forced cancel was really, really nice. I think Bisu's playing a very solid game right now.
Yeah, no, this is very impressive by him. Now, you can see FlaSh's macro. This guy is such a god when it comes to macro games here. He's almost caught up to the Protoss. But now the Arbiter's out, and I think Bisu set himself up for a decent game here. The problem is FlaSh is, like, so untouchable in some of these macro games. He just knows how to push. He knows how to force positions. He knows how to take fights.
Yeah. Well, Bisu running around towards his 3rd base from the back, so that's going to be a little bit annoying. I'm not sure what units he actually has.
Yeah, we're getting a shot of this over here, but I'm not. Okay, there's some tanks.
That's not too bad, actually. He's got a really well-placed depot. The comm set helps with the wall there.
Yeah, that's a cute little wall.
That is a really cute wall. That's hard to attack.
Yeah, you're not going to really get in there without losing everything as Protoss.
And that cost him a lot of time, too, right? Bisu ran all the way around there, checked. Now he's running all the way back. And FlaSh basically knows where his army is. He knows what he's thinking about, too.
So, there will be an EMP ready in time before the recall comes, right? Or is that not how this works?
Generally, FlaSh does go for EMP quickly.
It looks like he's going to try to get the recall set up here. Bisu does this a lot, where he sets up right outside the front so that they try to defend there and then recalls somewhere else. Okay, here we go. Here we go. just too many turrets.
Oh man! All right, well that one is not going to be. That's going to be a stasis arbiter right there.
Yeah, it's taken enough damage. You'll never be able to fly in.
No,
and so he's going to try to just go for a bust here.
All right, going to come up. Oh, I think the spread is too good though, right? Like, oh, whoa! He actually does do the recall on top of the army.
Yeah.
Not so sure about that one. D-Matrix coming out. The Zealot's getting good pairings on the left, but the siege tanks to the north.
This is too many tanks. This is like actually a pretty bad attack here by Bisu, to be totally honest.
I'm really surprised he did it.
That was actually, this is just a really bad play by Bisu. I don't know what to say. I think he took too much damage on the Arbiter, realized, okay, FlaSh is going to get too big. He's going to come out and push me and kill me.
How's that Arbiter still alive is what I want to know.
I know, that is a good question.
But, you know, like, sometimes a recall in an army can be pretty good, but FlaSh had a great spread and he had a huge army, so it didn't work out that well. He had a couple vessels. He had a clutch D-Matrix there. Yeah, not quite what Bisu was looking for, that's for sure.
I mean, here's the problem. Like, I think that FlaSh could just win this game from here. Protoss can keep macroing up, but if you're FlaSh, 2-1 is done. His army is basically better. They're the same supply now. And
the Arbiters have to do something really special here, I think.
Yeah, I totally agree with you.
Like, maybe he can sneak in a recall somewhere that forces FlaSh to turn around. A move like that can change things, but
the one Arbiter that would have the energy and a little bit here to do the recall is very low on HP, though.
That's true.
It's like, it's going to be hard to get it in there.
Man, look at this army.
Yeah. You got to remember, guys, T.E.N units, they scale better with the upgrades. So, like...
Okay, here comes the recall. This is... I like it.
Oh, he doesn't have enough for an EMP. Oh, my gosh, he's found a little hole in the defenses here.
Big hole in the defenses.
Yeah.
This is good for Bisu.
Okay, this actually could work. Here we go.
Well, this recall is definitely good enough to force him home. Might be able to pick off... If that's +3 attack, that's just amazing as well.
Yeah.
And FlaSh, he didn't have any mines in his main. He didn't have any static de-up. He was just trying to push him to kill here. Which, the thing is, if this hadn't happened, he probably could have.
The thing is, he doesn't kill the armory. You know, I think it's actually pretty intentional how FlaSh set up those depots. It's like this ant farm he has to move through to get anywhere.
Yeah, I think it screws up the movement, for sure. FlaSh can make them in a grid, trust me.
Yeah.
So I think you're right about that, but... FlaSh gonna go ahead and counterattack now. Like, Bisu did use a lot of army there. Of course, he can remax pretty quickly.
Okay, another attack coming through here.
3 shuttles.
Yeah.
Dropping Zealots all over the place. All right, a big stasis right there, but he actually freezes a bunch of his Zealots as well.
It's just too much. Bisu's doing a good job. He's going to try to reinforce here. There's not that many vultures here. Maybe he can pick up again and try to drop them on the tanks.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe. Bisu is taking the island here. Is that Arbiter still there? Oh, how funny.
Huh.
Yeah, it's right up there. 13 HP.
It's going to be a bit before he's back in action.
Yeah. But if FlaSh forgets about that, that's another recall into the main.
Yeah, that would be a big deal. I mean, you see the first recall gave him something to fight with, right? Here, though, I'm definitely worried for Bisu. You see, he doesn't really have a bank or anything.
Oh, I didn't even realize there were frozen Protoss units in that.
Yeah. Well, that was kind of why it was a funny stasis, too, is because he stasis the same place he dropped Zealots.
Yeah.
All right, almost has another stasis right there. His army's a little bit split. Oh, this is where FlaSh is going to gain his value. He's getting in between these two pieces of army, and normally you would call that a Protoss flank, but not with a pure goon army with shuttles on the left.
Yeah, these Dragoons, they need some Zealots here. Nice stasis, does stasis his own shuttle, bungling some of his attack here. And again, the tanks are just too strong. And what we're seeing
can't fight that with
here,
pure goon.
He's just going to box the Protoss around the map until he can eventually close in on the production point. And the game's basically over from there. This is one of these moments where FlaSh knows he doesn't even need a siege.
Yeah.
So, wow, Bisu just can't beat FlaSh's random Artosis.
No.
How about that?
And he was the one that was most certain he was going to beat FlaSh's random.
Yeah, how embarrassing is that?
But wait a minute, nothing shoots up. Maybe these arbiters.
Oh, you said that. That Goliath queued in just in time.
Yeah. Well, Bisu's expansion going to be under siege here. He's really not got any extra money.
Yeah.
He's down in supply.
Bisu has enough expansions, but it's really hard to get a good angle here.
FlaSh is just so good.
He's just so good. Imagine if his
Well,
Protoss and his Zerg could be as good as his Terran.
Well, I mean, you have to take his random as a whole, Tasteless. And here tonight, it's better than Bisu.
Yeah, I think we're going to see Bisu tap out here in a little bit. There it is, GG! All right.
So FlaSh went 4-4.
Best
So
event
FlaSh
night ever.
is even with 3 of the best players in the world with his random. Even, guys. Hold on, I can spin doctor the hell out of this. Look at that. You see that?
So
he lost 4 maps, he won 4 maps.
So FlaSh only won 1 game without Terran.
Tasteless, he didn't choose Terran, he chose random.
That's
Don't
right.
you try to twist this.
That's right. No,
Don't you
you're right.
take away what he's done.
We got so many Terran games tonight. I mean, I knew we were going to get some, but wow.
4-4. All right, we're calling it a tie tonight. We're giving FlaSh half the prize money.
What a night. Okay.
Bisu looks embarrassed, by the way.
Oh, he's not happy about this. So, that does it for our event, guys.
Yeah, just, I mean, I guess so, yeah. This has been a really funny night.
Well,
not what I expected coming in, that's for sure.
So, some of the stuff to take away from this, like, FlaSh's random is really good. It does not seem like he is quite able to take on the very, very, very top tier players. But it's a start. He's made some odd decisions as well. One of the games where he spawned as a Terran player, he went command center first, basically taking a risk.
Yeah. He only got 1 spawn tonight as Zerg. No, 2 as Zerg, actually. 2 as Zerg, 2 as Protoss, 4 as Terran. Huh. Interesting. That doesn't seem very random, does it, Tasteless? Should have been 3-3-2.
I wish we could have seen more games where he wasn't Terran, but that's the thing is his main is Terran, and you know the players are already putting themselves in awkward spots. Like we saw Bisu, that Zealot Pressure build is not bad against Terran,
okay,
but
like cross spawns against random Terran.
He basically has to do it because if FlaSh is Zerg, he doesn't want to die to anything.
Yeah.
PvP, FlaSh looks good, but he is able to lose that. We already saw that today. ZVZ, he had a build order advantage, and Queen.
It felt like he should have won that game.
Queen's sheer experience in ZVZ got him through that.
Yeah. His ZVP Ling Flood game was a little bit disappointing, I think.
Yeah.
That was a little bit rough. Look at Bisu, man. He does not look super happy right now. He talked a lot of trash about there's no way he would lose to FlaSh's random, but here he is.
The thing is, though, it's like it was 2 Terrans, man.
He said specifically he wouldn't lose to his Terran even.
Yeah, he got beat pretty badly.
Damn.
So will FlaSh keep playing random in tournaments? I know he's debuted it.
Yeah, I believe that it's already been announced that he'll be doing it in ASL.
Okay, so that's going to be interesting.
Do you think he'll win ASL with random?
If he does win ASL with random, it's the craziest thing ever. But to answer your question, I think no.
I think he will.
I think he needs... You're so ridiculous.
Look, this was his first time out, and he went 4-4 against the best of the best. If you give him just a little bit more time, he's going to have a winning record.
It does not seem like he can win with an off race when it really, really counts. Against best, I mean, FlaSh won a PvP, but then he also lost. Then he lost a PvP as well.
Yeah.
And, the game that FlaSh won was weird. They both went around each other.
And That game was
Yeah.
not very real, was it?
Yeah, that's not like they both did something wrong,
It's
somehow
kind of
missed
game
each
where
other.
that happens on the ladder. You're like,
Yeah, you're like, I guess I
okay.
better be careful to not let him go around me. They both missed each other, got there, and went, oh, okay, there's nothing here. This means I'm under attack. And
yeah. Oh my God, it's so funny.
I think FlaSh needs more time. I really do. I think we're going to need another year or two before he'd be able to maybe win an ASL. It does seem to come down a lot to the nuanced control. Dragoon control.
Sure.
We didn't get
The
to see him
Zergling
with
control?
the Ling control. You could see Queen is just more comfortable with Lings and drones.
Yeah, of course.
I wish we didn't get his Terran against Bisu because, look, that's what I'm more interested in seeing. I think everybody's on the same page as me here. I want to see the Protoss and the Zerg play.
Yeah.
And how does he do
Of
it? The Terran play, it's like, yeah, he wins.
Yeah. Well,
And then the Queen series was just weird because, like, FlaSh took his advantage and then made it into a risk by going command center first.
Yeah.
9 pooling against random as Zerg is not unreasonable at all.
No, it seems actually that was the first thing that came to my mind was a
You
9
can
pull
fight
would be good.
Protoss, you can fight Zerg for sure.
Yeah, and
you
against
can do
Terran, it's
something
not
against
great,
Terran,
but
yeah.
you're already behind against Terran because it's FlaSh's main.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, okay, maybe a 9 pool into Lurker all in. Who knows?
Yeah.
Right? Like do something crazy. But yeah. I'm trying to, like, I guess that this makes me very excited still to see his random again in ASL because I do want to see more of those off races in a tournament setting because we didn't see that much, right?
This is fun to
we saw 4
cast, too,
games.
because we never get to cast random.
Never.
Like the theories behind it.
We've
and
never
kind of
casted random in StarCraft 1.
No, never.
Never. Because no one chooses.
So, I mean, look, FlaSh is going to have to go back to the lab, really, here. And start to iron out some of his play. It does seem like the mirror matchups were a real problem today.
Yeah. Well, those should be the hard ones, right? Like.
I think so. But, you know, the
Well,
PvZ,
maybe not
man,
PvP as much because a lot of it's strategic, but.
Excuse me, the ZVP,
ZVZ
I mean,
for sure.
Best really just kind of outdid him. Yeah. FlaSh did not even go into the Lurker Turtle play. He tried to do this weird Lurker Hydra push.
I think he was behind enough that he felt like he needed to.
Yeah, and
do that.
I get that. I appreciate that, but.
He's seen. The thing is, he's seen all the games that I've casted on that map because every single game is just Hydra Lurker on that high ground on circuit breakers, and they siege up there, and then you watch Dragoons miss shots uphill, and then the Protoss leaves.
Yes,
because they have 2 geysers, and that's it. that's every game I've ever seen on that map.
I mean, I think we're gonna have to wait for FlaSh to really get a handle on the nuanced unit control, and frankly, on just a standard drawn out macro game. I think that, you know, the random play, it does give you an advantage early on. There are ways you can cut corners or just end up where they have a bad build and you have a good one. But, you know, it's funny. We don't talk about this that much because all the matches we cast are, you know, tournament matches. But all these players ladder, they all have experienced random before. They all sort of have some kind of a quick fix for how to deal with this. It's cool to see in a tournament setting this come out, but yeah, I mean, if the players can try to survive the difficulties of the early game and the fact that you can get a bad draw and you just get into a macro game, it does seem like as good as FlaSh is, these guys can basically hold him back.
Yeah, yeah, and you would expect them to. I think he does need advantages from that early game, from the fact that their builders are not going to be perfectly tailored to his race.
Yeah,
that's where random gets its power. That's why people use random, you know, is because they get that early advantage and your stuff is off and you can do something kind of wild and crazy and catch them off guard. That is the power behind random because no one's good with all 3 races as they are with 1.
Yeah. And so I'm excited. I look forward to ASL. I think that a lot of people thought that FlaSh would win like 3-0 today in all of his games and come out on top. And I think this is a very sobering moment for FlaSh here. You know, his Terran carried him through most of his wins. In truth, he seems like he's clearly good at the other races, but he's not on the level where, you know, he's going to be able to win. I mean, basically today he was beaten back in each of his off matchups.
Yeah,
in games where he had an advantage, the ZVZ.
The
Queen
ZVZ
was
did
just
feel like
better
he
with control.
Should have done better with that.
Better at sniping drones.
Yeah.
PvP, Best was better at controlling the Dragoons in the middle of the map. The PvZ, we saw that he went for the Ling Flood, and Best just kind of, he was better at using his probes to fight the Zerglings in his main.
Yeah.
Actually, we're going to have to close it out.
Oh, well, it was a lot of fun. Thank you guys for tuning in and
we love
checking
you
out
guys.
T.E.N, the esports night.
That's right, guys. We'll see you guys again, and GSLs tomorrow. We'll see you there. Love you. Bye-bye. Take care.